our journalists need to keep doing. Every time he says fake news, I say Alcindor. Yamiche Alcindor is the
now.
She's wonderful.
Back to my question.
Yeah.
We talking about the dark state. Nobody want to talk about that. Listen.
The women who lead in the world, because it's showing us that
because
there's no difference.
The real news media ain't gonna talk the movie Gremlins. You're on my live now.
What the big fear
is,
but right now, Joy,
you watch it.
Hoping to take the lead in the
fundraiser
that you're involved in.
Oh, I'm getting censored. You know why? Because I'm talking about the dark state. This is why I get censored every time I go live on YouTube. I talk real facts. Look, facts that I go in my books and read. I don't go off statistics and knowledge and what the media telling me. I go off this shit for real. Now, hold on. Now, hold on, listen.
Frontline healthcare workers that are doing their wonderful job that they do. So go to our website for more details.
Healthcare ain't got shit to do with it.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's the CD. It's the dark state.
Take a gander at what's going on. Hey, we're going to be
pay attention.
More to talk about.
Yeah. I know. Because you they puppet on the string. Whoopee. You my sister. I love you. But you they puppet on the string. Stop being a puppet on the string and be your own woman. Be a black woman like Dr. Martin Luther King trained your mama and your daddy to be.
Greater details, richer stories. Get your DNA.
Stop trying to get rich off of $1. That don't happen nowhere. Look.
Activities
YouTube.
Probiotics to support your gut health and help you thrive while you stay.
Know what I mean? So just keep following me. I'm talking about Trump is doing a good job. He's doing the best that he can. The Democrats is making him out to be a dumb ass Republican. This is what the Democrat Party does when it's time for re-election. I'm telling you this from facts and knowledge. I'm not telling you this out the kindness of my heart. I'm telling you this from facts and knowledge. Y'all keep not believing in me. Watch this. Watch when Joe Biden come in. You think he gonna really? No. Now everybody got to get a vaccine. Everybody got to get tested. Everybody has to do this. Watch this.
We are deeply concerned as we see our sales decline and our retail partners struggling. We offer today 50% off our rock and roll line. Flexible and
you'll never mount me
with great sound quality.
If you go with the Democrats never give a fuck about us. Now, half of y'all watch these movies on Netflix, don't even know what the hell y'all watching. They just had a big show. If anybody remember the Gremlins, you remember the one with the white hair and glasses, thought he was smarter than everybody? That was Bush Sr. And I'm telling you this shit from facts. I know it's a dark state. They ran by fucking lizards. This is why they keep cutting my videos off of YouTube. I'm telling you, it's a dark fucking state. It's 5 dark states. We gotta blow them up to be popular again. Watch this.
Trying to raise more money, so hopefully we'll have some more information on our website about the Bronx community relief effort. But I just think we hear so many terrible things going on right now during the pandemic.
Mommy calling me.
It's important to highlight those heroes that are really amongst us, and they are in the Bronx. And I'm just really proud of the work that they're doing.
Cool. And so many people are working from home right now. But mental health experts recommend
keeping your work routine as regular as you can. Like stick to your work dress code. Well, as much as you can. Like put your pants on. Now, because you think nobody can see me, nobody's gonna know. But you know what? You know you're not wearing pants.
Look,
You know
my mom,
you had to get up really
my mom want to sign me into a
It could be
hospital
really embarrassing.
because I'm talking the real shit about America. I'm exposing them on YouTube. They can't expose me.
In your pants, what are you wearing?
I've been exposed all my life as a black human being. So what much more you think I'm gonna take from anybody?
Sometimes leggings.
Listen.
The back of my hair isn't really combed. Front is combed. So I'm
Right.
doing the best that I can. I'm not going to the mailbox and getting mail without my pants on like this.
They don't know. They only know what the media news tell them. But when you get with a real population like mine that's backing you
I am wearing
about
pants,
this
but I'm not
pandemic
wearing,
shit.
socially acceptable
Look,
pants. They're like sweatpants,
first of
but
all,
I don't think that
they shut down mom and pop stores. That's the most Trump supporters in America.
I think that people are
They
just
shut them
trying
down
the best they can. I will
for the
say
sake
to me,
of
I'm
argument.
a person that's, like,
Let's
really
just
into,
say,
like, the ritual of
for knowledge and
like,
wisdom.
like getting up and making coffee and
Oh,
getting breakfast and then physically going into
but they
work.
made
I
the
love
most
to change.
fucking
Yes,
money.
you know, but I do. You change. And I
Now the
think
government
that,
going out
you know, that I really
for
like dressing
the
very
most
serious.
human
And
beings
I can't say
in the
that
world.
because,
Look,
I-
hold on.
what we're telling
How the
you,
fuck
that's
you
my
going?
graduation, it's been hard
How the
for
fuck
me
you
to
going
get
to
to,
trust
like, the mental
a
state
doctor
of work, wearing sweatpants,
who can't even
wearing
tie his own
clothing
damn
that you can,
shoes?
but I am
Dr.
really,
Fauci,
the formality
Fauci,
of work. I think there's a
he can't even tie his own fucking shoes.
I think particularly
And then you trust him, Bill Gates? The world overpopulated, so we just gonna start a virus.
Why did you say that?
Listen to these two idiots
I don't know for you
that Trump got with him.
I'll tell you why.
Listen.
This brassiere that I'm wearing is so tight that I can barely breathe. And so somebody
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
said to me and said, why don't you just shoot
If somebody come and kill me tonight, I know I made this video live for y'all, and I mean this shit from the bottom of my heart. Ain't nobody gonna get a hold to this laptop because I got it put up, treasured in the safe place. But I'm telling you, watch out for the myths, for the fucked up, and the kindness. Why is you trying to play God? God don't like you playing him.
Look at you, up at dawn, already making progress. Riding your bike
Look
to the
at my mom. She already want to lock me up in that home.
Doing laps, getting fruity in the name of. Wait, just a
Because I got a mind that I like to think. Because I have a mind and I like to think. This is why my mom hate me. This is why my mom hate me. Because I have a mind and I like to think outside the fucking box. I'm telling you what's going to happen. We all going to get chips in us. And guess what? I ain't playing that shit. You going to take me outside my house and shoot me in the back of my head, bitch. Or take me to one of them camps that you take Mexicans to. Bitch, fuck it. 3 hots in a cop. Sound well for me. Because I ain't abiding by y'all fucking rules. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. They're going to come in your house. They're going to take your... Bitch, you should have seen when the U.S. Marshals ran up in my fucking house. My mom said she wanted to use the bathroom. I said, bitch, you don't own this motherfucking house, bitch. Let my mom go use the fucking bathroom. Bitch, fuck you. They handcuffed me. I'm on the floor gag. Bitch, you not gonna gag me in my own fucking house. I will kill you first, you fucking cracker bitch.
pandemic. And that's why she enlisted her friend, who's an ER doctor and founder of Cure Urgent Care in New York City. And he also tested positive for the coronavirus. So Ellen joins us now from LA. And Dr. Jake Deutsch joins us from New York. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Mom, I don't know all that. I don't know. It wasn't trained for me to know that. But I went off on them motherfuckers. They handcuffed me up.
I mean, just to have everybody.
I'm just saying,
stay at home.
when martial law come in here and start trying to put that vaccine in everybody, which means it's a chip that they gonna put into you. It's a chip to put into you to track you. I'm not stupid. I'm a realist, Mom. I'm a realist. I'm not a liberal or a fucking Republican. I just was telling my viewers.
But I was dealing with my own illness at the same time, running a very busy practice, seeing people who were testing positive as well. So
y'all know where we live.
Only made sense. We had an acquaintance that we met.
And y'all know where I live.
She told me
I gave my address.
And she follows me on Instagram. And so when the message needed to get out there, we partnered up and went live. I think it was Ellen's first live.
Hold on.
And we wanted to just connect with the parts of the community that otherwise may not listen to press conferences or really weren't tuning into what was important about staying at home and socially distancing.
Right. And when exactly should someone make the decision to go to the ER, to the hospital? At what point do you think?
I mean, I think that there's a critical point when you're having an illness that's so severe that you really feel
it's a
something's not right.
matter
Severe
of
difficulty,
kindness,
uncomfortable
what they
pain in
tell
your
you,
chest that doesn't feel right.
and a matter of dumbness.
Signs of maybe hypoxia, flu
You got the matter of dumbness in y'all right now. But the matter of kindness is in everyone. That means that's the wrath of Jesus that's coming in. But since none of y'all won't believe this conversation, none of y'all want to take me serious, none of y'all want to join my live studio. I have a live studio. I have a live channel. This is it. I'm telling you, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the government. If they want to come get me, they better come get me fast. Because I'm not afraid of them. Because look, once the devil put fear in your heart, you're going to be afraid of him for the rest of your life. I'm not afraid of the devil. I will show you. I will show you who I stand with. I stand with the righteous Almighty every day of my life.
Every right to protest. So we have to support those two rights first and foremost.
Stand real, be true.
But I think that the dangerous thing obviously is people not listening to what all of the governors, I think pretty much today, all of the governors are in accordance. I think even the governor of Georgia has walked back, or is it the mayors? I can't keep track anymore. Have walked back, saying that we can't reopen too soon, and so. I mean, listen, there's always going to be a small fraction, and I think this is what this is, a small fraction of people who are going to go against the science, who are going to go against what the doctors are saying. We don't need more division. We need people coming together. We need everybody listening to the doctors.
See. Now.
They would do what they want to you and wouldn't tell you a
No, this is why it's called the panic damage solution. Because they know we waking the fuck up. The dark state is controlled by lizards, people who can shift shade. I know this. You gotta read books, man. But everybody, but what somebody said, you can't read everything that come out of book. But you have to. I go with my own gut. I go with my own instinct. But now, watch this. Watch this. Now, this is the real message I'm going to get across.
Is the last environmentally friendly lifestyle. And I just hope that the hunters across this country, especially my blood brothers in Michigan, I hope we start voting God, family, country, freedom, because Gretchen Whitmer's get in when...
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. Tonight, a little overview. Here's where we are as of 8 p.m. Eastern, which is to say right now. In many places in this country, Americans cannot go to the park with their children. They can't go to church. They can't have family dinners with their relatives. They can't go to the dentist. They can't get a knee replacement. They can't get married. Tens of millions of them can't afford to do much of anything right now because they're unemployed. But they better not complain about it. If they voice their complaints online, they're liable to be censored by the tech companies. If they complain in public, they could be arrested, and a number of them have been. The whims of our political leaders are now unquestioned law. Dissent has been banned, and that ban is relentlessly enforced by the willing stooges in our media who have finally stopped pretending they don't hate you. They definitely do. What country is this? Well, it's a country in a lockdown. We're told we have no choice but to do this, to stop our lives completely. Mass quarantines, they tell us again and again, are the only way to save lives. But that's a lie. They don't know it's true, despite what they claim. There is no scientific record to consult. It's never been done. We're currently living through the largest and most expensive experiment ever conducted in human history. We have spent trillions of dollars and crushed millions of people purely on the guess that a nationwide lockdown would save us from the coronavirus. Has it worked? Was the guess correct? Let's look at the data. That's where we should always begin. It's what our leaders should be consulting daily. Here it is. As of tonight, 8 U.S. states have not issued statewide shelter-in-place orders for their citizens. Those states are Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming. The question is, have these states suffered for not locking down? And the answer is no, they haven't, at least not yet. Currently, all 8 states are below the national average in coronavirus cases and deaths per capita. That's not to say they've been immune to the virus. They haven't been, but they definitely have not been hit harder than other states. Now, as a matter of social science, those 8 states are, it is true, on average smaller and less dense, in some cases much less dense than the hardest hit states. But you can adjust the numbers. In a recent article, journalist and professor Wilfred Riley did the math on this. He compared states that are locked down to states without lockdowns. He then performed statistical regressions that accounted for population, density, income levels, age, and racial diversity. He put his formulas right up there and challenged people to run the same numbers through those formulas or change them, come to a different conclusion if they could. No one has so far. Here's what he found. He found that a state's lockdown strategy had virtually no effect on how severe its outbreak of the Wuhan coronavirus was. Are you surprised by this? Maybe you shouldn't be. You can see the same trend at work in other countries. Sweden, most famously, has never locked down. Restaurants there have never closed. That country is still suffering from coronavirus, suffering more, in fact, than we are here in the U.S. But the country's epidemic appears to have peaked. And without locking down, Sweden, and this is the key, has fared far better than other European countries that did lock down. That includes Britain, Italy, Spain, Belgium. How can this be true? It seems to contravene everything we hear all day long. Lockdowns stop the virus. That's what they tell us, almost always at high volume and with maximum outrage and self-righteousness, daring us to disagree. But in fact, there's not much evidence that it's true. Consider the state of California, which was one of the first states to shut down. In a televised statement, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti bragged that his city was under his absolute personal control. And for that reason, the coronavirus would not spread there. Anyone who disobeyed him would be hunted down. That's literally the phrase Garcetti used. Watch this.
This has really been marvelously embraced by 99.9% of people. We see it in the traffic data, we see it in the cell phone data, but we're going to hunt down that last 0.1% and say, you got to get inside, you got to cut it out, and you got to distance.
Yeah.
We're going to hunt down people who are outside? They spent years calling Donald Trump a fascist, if only. Garcetti, you may have just heard, brag that he was surveilling people's cars and tracking their cell phone use. But even that wasn't far enough for him. Garcetti also intentionally ruined city parks in Los Angeles just so that nobody could use them without his personal authorization.
We saw this week, for instance, at the skate park at Venice Beach, and people were there, so we had to put sand into the skate park to make that unusable for now. When we come out of this, we'll clean that sand out.
No modern political leader in this country has ever talked like this, ever. And yet suddenly in cities across the nation, so many of them are talking just like that. It's authoritarian. Has this new authoritarianism produced results apart from a surge of power for the politicians exercising it? Well, let's see. Again, to the numbers. A new study by researchers at USC, University of Southern California, tested large groups of people in Los Angeles County for coronavirus antibodies. They found that as of early April, up to 5.6% of the entire county had contracted the illness. That means up to 320,000 adults in Los Angeles apparently had already had it. At the time, the official number of infected people was about 8,000. City officials had no clue. They weren't even close. The virus had spread throughout a huge population right in the middle of the most restrictive quarantine in American history. What does that tell you? It tells you the lockdown didn't work. The question is, why exactly did it fail? And we don't know. We can only guess. Maybe people ignored the requirements of it, or maybe full enforcement of it was impossible, despite the fact they were tracking people's cars and cell phones. Or maybe forcing people to stay inside all day isn't actually a good way to contain a virus. Whatever the reason that it failed, it did. Our leaders guessed wrong. They claimed that a lockdown would halt the spread of the virus. It did not do that, not even close. And they need to admit that. And then we need to change our approach based on the science, not on their whims, on the numbers, on what we've learned. But we're not doing that. Public officials are instead, by and large, ignoring any evidence that indicts their policies or, critically, that might threaten their new and much-loved power. They don't want to know what the facts are. Indeed, some of them are even now, right now, promising even longer lockdowns, ones that extend maybe through the end of the summer, and even tougher punishments for those who disobey them. They're deploying drones to catch people who dare to go outside. Americans. This is insanity.
Blame it on Trump.
It is definitely, and this cannot be stated emphatically enough, it is definitely not science. This is not science. It has nothing to do with the public's health, much less the broader public interest. This is instead what happens when mediocre people suddenly find themselves with godlike power, deciding who can go outside, when people can get married, which medical procedures you're allowed to have. That's a feeling of omnipotence, and they like that feeling. It fills an empty place inside. They don't want to give it up. They want it to last forever, even as the country dies.
Why?
But it can't last
play
forever
God.
because it's not their country. It's ours.
God don't like you playing him.
Attention, all victims of childhood. What I'm about to tell you is going to be banned, most likely on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and every place else because it goes against the WHO. But 3 weeks ago, I called for a full audit of the WHO. At this point, you know about their assisted cover-up with the overlords of the Chinese Communist Party. to try to hide the fact that China is directly responsible for the coronavirus pandemic. President Trump has rightly halted all U.S. funding to the show until we can find out what the heck is going on over there. Who's involved? How deep is this? I don't see the media asking any questions of any kind of substance. After Trump cut funding, the head of the WHO accused the president of politicizing the coronavirus. But the media, as usual, refuses to look into the political relationship between the head director, Tedros, of the WHO and the Chinese Communist Party. Now, let me give you a quick recap of what we were able to find just a few weeks ago. All of it I revealed on Blaze TV. If you're a subscriber, it can still be found on demand. It's really important. Tedros is the first WHO director to not have a medical degree. He's actually an Ethiopian politician. Now, I could be nice and start with he was the Ethiopian Minister of Health, but that's not where he was lately. And I'm going to get back to his posting as the Minister of Health here in a second. But his last job was with the Ethiopian government. He was their Minister of Foreign Affairs. He was basically their Mike Pompeo. He was also the chairperson of the Executive Council of the African Union. It is widely reported now that China has an intense connection with the past couple of decades with Africa, very specifically in Ethiopia, which has been dubbed China's dream in Africa. So exactly 1 year ago this month, Ethiopia hosted its second Belt and Road Summit. Now, Belt and Road is China's strategy to dominate all international trade. Apple and Samsung used to be the most popular phone companies in Ethiopia until China moved in. Now it's the Chinese phone maker Tecno. The Chinese presence in Ethiopia is staggering, and we went through it on Blaze TV. The Chinese construction companies are building structures all over the country. They fully funded a $47 million rail system and over 30,000 miles of roads. They proved 70% of the funds for another railroad.
This coronavirus
that links
ain't got
Ethiopia
shit to
to
do with
neighboring
nothing.
countries at a cost of $3.4
They're killing you by the
billion.
5G.
The Chinese investment in
They're killing
Ethiopia
you
is
by the
growing at a rate
5G.
of
Look into
52%
that.
a year.
The
Still
dark
growing.
state is not
That's a high
telling
price
you
tag.
about that.
How is
They
Ethiopia
bring
ever
in
going to
that-
pay that
this
back? Well, the
epidemic.
answer is they can't in cash. Since the year 2000, Ethiopia owes China over $12 billion. That's half of their entire external debt owed to the Chinese Communist Party. They have no way of ever repaying it. It's not with cash. No one in the media will ask these questions. And making even more ridiculous this whole situation is the fact that China has a track record for buying influence in international organizations within the UN. An official within the White House recently told Radio Free Asia that China's foreign investment in places like Ethiopia and Africa is part of a plan to, quote, reshape the international system to accommodate its political and economic interests. They go on, quote, in service of this strategy, China has consistently sought to trade financial incentives for votes, offering bribes and canceling debt for countries that support them. Now, the Washington Post recently reported that China forgave Cameroon's debt just 1 month before they withdrew their country's candidate to head the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization. China also threatened to
Nobody
cut
wanna
off
talk about
exports
this.
from multiple countries in South America if they didn't back their candidate to head the FAO. Guess who now sits at the head of that UN organization? Yes, the distinguished gentleman from China. So why is it suddenly out of bounds to notice the same mafia-style tactics from China directed at the WHO? In 2017, the WHO director shocked the world when he announced that he was naming President Mugabe of Zimbabwe a WHO Goodwill Ambassador. Mugabe, you know, as in the ruthless, human rights abusing, land grabbing, hyperinflation inducing dictator. Oh, and you can also tack Marxist, Leninist, and Maoist to Zime. So why the heck did the WHO, more importantly, their director, think this was even a remotely good idea? Well, it all makes sense. If you see that China loved themselves some Mugabe, he was helping China move into Africa. They had strong ideological ties, Marx, Mao, Lenin. the current president, Xi Jinping, and Mugabe, all of them together. That's one heck of a party. The Washington Post reported that the WHO director's decision to honor Mugabe was speculated as, quote, a payoff to China, which worked tirelessly behind the scenes to help Tedros defeat the United Kingdom's candidate for the WHO job, David Nabarro. Tedros's victory was also a victory for Beijing, whose leader, Xi Jinping, has made public his goal of flexing China's muscle around the world. Really? This is the guy that everyone in the world, including our media, is claiming is acting in good faith when he covers up for China over the coronavirus. Not only did China have a deep ideological link with Mugabe in Zimbabwe, they also have a deep ideological link to the WHO director himself. Again, you won't get this information anywhere. What do I mean by that? Well, the government that he used to serve in Ethiopia are Marxist-Leninists. In fact, he wasn't just part of it. He's a member of and served both as health minister and foreign minister in the Ethiopian Tigray People's Liberation Front. Oh, I love them liberation fronts. It's a radical socialist movement that was so violent that they were officially designated a terror group. Some of their highlights include forced displacements and land seizures, torture, which include, and I'd like to quote here, prisoners were raped, tied to trees, held with animals, had water bottles hung from their genitals and their fingernails pulled out, and a slew of other human rights abuses. But that's what you get from Marxist revolutionaries. I know what you shouldn't expect. You shouldn't expect one of their members to become the director of the WHO. But what do you know? China saw a friend in both Tedros and his Marxist.
We are here afraid that things are going to get worse. And before long, people are going to start turning up, man. When coronavirus hits here, people are going to start hurting individuals, man, because they're afraid. So something needs to be done. We on complete lockdown, so even that little bit of recreation that we had a chance to get outside to get away from people is now dead. Like, we just in here, look, all day. And, you know, guys is coughing, and there's just no way to escape it, bro. So.
I think me and my mom could run the White House with our power and our energy. Because it takes.
And I ain't been to the store in like a month, so essential things like hygiene, toothpaste, soap, deodorant, all that stuff is about to be non-existent here in a second. And they don't got no way of getting us no more.
They worship they pocket.
No food. So my life is now consists of
money.
No, one hot meal and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches until they can find out something better to give us, which is probably going to be nothing.
Or your worst nightmare.
You know? So we just look at it's just looking grim. It's only a matter of time before we all get it. Those of us have spent 10 plus years behind these prison walls and are close to coming home, but everything is now on standstill.
Is sunlight good for us right now?
The virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight. The virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight under these conditions. Sunlight. And we're able to measure the decay of that virus while it's suspended in the air. This is how we do our aerosol testing. We work with Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, and we actually developed a larger drum to actually more testing. That's 4 times the size of that. So this is the capability that we bring to this effort.
Whatever you coming with.
So in summary, within the conditions we've tested today, the virus in droplets of saliva survives best in indoors and dry conditions. The virus does not survive as well in droplets of saliva, and that's important because a lot of testing being done is not necessarily being done, number one, with the COVID-19 virus, and number two, in saliva or respiratory fluids. And thirdly, the virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight under these conditions. And when you look at that chart, look at the aerosol as you breathe it, You put it in a room, 70 to 75 degrees, 20.
This is
This
what
is William
the
Bryan,
real
the
news
senior
media
DHS
ain't
official
giving
for
you.
science and technology, and he's giving us the stunning revelation that sunlight might be really good for us now, and being indoors might actually not be that good when it comes to containing or slowing the spread of the virus.
The virus in droplets of saliva survives best in indoors and dry conditions. The virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight.
To people with common sense and critical thinking skills, this is nothing surprising. But to people who believe everything they hear from television news anchors, this might be really bad or shocking. Who knows what they're saying? They're like, Donald Trump said that sunlight will kill coronavirus. It's like, Trump didn't say that. They did a study based on the virus or the disease in saliva and came to that conclusion. This corroborates the report from Yahoo News that I talked about a few days ago. And a lot of people don't want to hear it. We must be a slave in our house and stay inside for months at a time and not go out in the sun. Was never science. Of course, you're allowed to study stuff like sunlight, but the gatekeepers are furious. Speaking of the sun, that really hot thing that heats up the planet and allows us to even survive in the first place. In 2018, Harvard scientists begin experiment to block out the sun. Can we not? A group of Harvard scientists plan to tackle climate change through geoengineering by blocking the sun. The concept of artificially reflecting sunlight has been around for decades, yet this will be the first real attempt at controlling Earth's temperature through solar engineering.
Because
blocking out the sunlight has been controversial in the scientific community for decades. The controversy lies in the ability to fully understand the consequences of partially blocking out sunlight. Yeah, you don't say. Here's the best part. With funding in part by Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, of course, the Harvard team will begin to answer the remaining questions as early as the spring of 2019. So the geniuses at Harvard are blocking out the sun. Past cultures prayed to the sun and appreciated the sun, but now a lot of these God-complex pseudo-intellectuals want to block out the sun because they know better.
They know
niggers
Well,
like
for starters,
us, the sun
need
heats
the
up
sun.
our planet, allows us to survive,
They
gives
can't
us
take
vitamins, is healthy for
as
us.
white
And according to the DHS Science and Technology research, it might actually eliminate COVID-19 a lot faster than sitting indoors. I don't know, so maybe closing down beaches isn't a good idea. Telling people they can't go to the park, maybe we should reconsider that, or at least be able to question it without getting deleted or being, oh my God, how dare you question being inside for 5 months and going out in the sun? That's not science. That's like brainwashed tyranny that now we actually have real scientific studies to counter those claims. Dr. Birx seemed less than thrilled about this. And in a recent television interview, she went to say the federal government, and by mistake, it seems like she almost said the Gates Foundation.
Do we have enough infrastructure to contact trace the way that we need to?
I think that's why the criteria that you can see the gates that are that the federal government has recommended are.
Do we have enough infrastructure to contact trace the way that we need
Foundation, the Trump.
I think that's why the criteria that you can see the gates that are that the federal government has recommended are.
Whoops. We know what you mean, though. Dr. Fauci, the other expert that's guiding Trump's policy right now, is on the Global Health Leaders of Vaccine Collaboration Leadership Council with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So as one scientific study is telling us that sunlight is actually really good when it comes to slowing the spread of the virus, and the virus or disease potentially spreads more indoors than it does outdoors, the other side that's driving our health and economic policy right now wants to literally block out the sun, has its sights on controlling the weather and geoengineering hurricanes. That's a fact. As one of the two main health experts on the vaccine
You
council,
better know.
everyone can't even not
This
say his
shit
name when they're talking about the
better
federal
go fuck the viral, because I'm telling you, the chip is going to be a planet. I might not even be here.
He's also funding research into if
Bitch, they going to take me outside and
with
shoot
vitamin
my
C
ass.
as a
I'm
placebo,
being trying
and
to
apparently thinks
get
that we're never going to go back to normal until basically the
telling
entire
you,
world
I'm
gets the
telling
vaccine.
you, I'm not getting no vaccine. Nobody in my house is getting a fucking vaccine. Nobody. And we own our house. Fuck you. We America. We the most. We the most demanding motherfucker.
We're all about high volume vaccines, are working with many manufacturers.
Holy conflict of interest and God complex, Batman. This guy has his hands in everything. And it's obvious that the media really doesn't even want to consider that sunlight.
You got a lizard. You got a lizard like Bill Gates running, trying to run the country.
And the American
Because
collapse.
they probably made up
Question it
that
all
computer
because you don't
trick
care about health. And
from
on the
a
other
black
hand, they tell
man.
us hundreds of millions of people are going
The
to
black man ain't even get recognition for
I'm
it.
sorry, but a lot of
Fuck
these
out of
media
my
people are
face,
delusional
you
and dishonest
dumb
at best,
bitch.
psychopaths at worst. Thank you to Trump for putting him on stage, and thank you to Bill Bryan for giving us your research.
I mean, obviously, at the moment, the advice is stay at home. By the summer, could we be flipping that and saying you'd be much better off being outside with UV rays?
I ain't gonna be here, but this video gonna live on forever.
I would not go contrary to the guidance that have been issued right now. I think, though, to tell you that if I'm having an event with my family, I'm doing it in the
I
driveway
bet
or in
you
the
if you
backyard, not inside
thought
the house.
Amir is being crazy in your life, I never look crazy again.
Sounds like what a lot of other scientists are saying that are getting
I
buried
would
by
never
the media and the health industry
look
swamp
crazy
gatekeepers
again.
or whatever you want to call them. And I'm confused at this. We can't go back to normal until everybody gets a vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, and I totally understand the science behind vaccines. But science tells us that the influenza vaccine has been around since 1942. In 2018, 80,000 people died from the winter flu. And we've had some of the worst flu seasons in decades recently. So there's no correlation between having the vaccine and eradicating the disease. That's a fact. That's science. So what type of phony science is Trump and Bill Gates and these others trying to push that we can't go back to normal until they get the vaccine out there as they're blocking the sun, funding those Washington Institute models, which have been wrong time and time again? The death rates are massively, massively lower. We know now because of antibody tests and basic common sense, understanding an asymptomatic virus means that a lot of people don't.
Now
know
they're
have
gonna
it.
try
When does this
another
madness
approach.
end? Wake up, Donald Trump, because the American people are
Everybody
awake,
ain't
and we're
gotta
tired of
take
these
that
God
shit.
complex tyrants
We got the
destroying
liberty
the
right
economy,
not to
destroying our
do
entire way
shit
of life, telling
for
us
the
we can't talk
fucking
out about
government.
it, telling us that
Now what,
suggesting
you
that
wanna bring
sunlight
in
and
martial law,
exercise is
bitch?
good and being indoors
I'll
is
fight
bad
them
is somehow
bitches
dangerous,
too.
terrible things
I
to say.
mean
And then on the other hand, telling
with
us
all my
hundreds of
fucking
millions
heart.
of people are going to die from the policy that they're mainly pushing in their own media sources is getting out of control. And the theory of flattening the curve so we don't overwhelm hospitals, have we not only massively overcompensated for, we actually also overwhelmed the hospitals in the process by shutting down all elective surgeries. And it's time to stop moving the goalposts. It's time to stop smearing any scientists, doctors, or studies that go against the agenda.
Y'all
of what
lost.
they clearly
Y'all
wanna
lost.
do, which is
Y'all
give a product
lost.
to everybody
Y'all
on the
lost
entire
to
planet,
God's
which there's no
people.
science data or
The
even
dark
human
state,
testing yet to prove
look
that
at
it's
y'all.
one going
The
to be
dark
effective
state
and
look
work,
at dumb
and
as
it's two going to
hell.
eradicate
Now
the
they trying to
disease.
look
And all
at
evidence
another
when you
way.
look at others,
Now
like
the
the
lizard
influenza
people try to
vaccine,
look
which has been
another
here for 70
way.
years, nothing about
How
it
to get
proves
us?
that is somehow going to
No,
correlate
no,
to
you
eradication
can't
or
get
complete
us.
slowing
You
of the
can't
spread.
get us,
It's getting
bitch.
ridiculous.
Now you
We
want
get
to
it.
lick
So I
up
would like to see
another
the
fucking
president of the
way.
United States start getting it. God bless you guys. Have a good week, and I'll be back with more videos.
Hold on.
That is probably the most important minute and 50 seconds you're going to see probably this entire month, maybe this entire year. It's early. People are suffering right now. They are at a red line of stress because terrible decisions are being made about shutting the country down based on data that is not happening. Your models are not working. I don't care if you think it's acceptable or in the perimeter of acceptable conversation because you're a left-wing nut looking to hit Trump. I don't care if you think that's acceptable. Tucker Carlson showed us last night, and other hosts as well, Hannity have been plowing straight through that fence and talking about this anyway, and we are beating the liberal media at their own game, Joe. I'm going to show you examples of this throughout the show. Let me play this video first last night of Tucker talking about this exact same thing. The media, you either want the stock market to, or you want people to die if we don't shut the economy down. Tucker, Hannity, and others have been plowing through it along with this show. Listen to this last night. This is how we beat them and show you how infantile these idiots are. Check this out.
What would have happened, for example, if we'd adopted a more conventional response to this epidemic? What if we'd asked the elderly and the immunocompromised and anyone else facing statistically higher rates of risk to stay inside, cloistered away? And then at the same time, allowed the rest of the population to use informed common sense and continue to work? What if we'd done that a month ago? Would the death rate today be much higher than it is now? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But it's clearly a conversation we should have had before we locked the entire country down and put 10 million people out of work. But we didn't have that conversation. Instead, we outsourced the decision to public health officials. And that's a strange irony of the moment we're living through. One of the main lessons of this crisis is that the public health establishment failed us badly. The World Health Organization colluded with the Chinese government to lie about critically relevant facts during the early days of the outbreak. Once the coronavirus reached our shores, the CDC couldn't seem to produce working tests. Those were disasters. Many people died because the people we trusted to protect our health didn't do it. They've been thoroughly discredited. At the same time, though, we're being asked to trust these same people without hesitation, and for the most part, we are doing that. In other words, the experts failed, yet the experts now have more power than ever before. It's bewildering. In fact, it's reminiscent of 2008, when reckless behavior by the banks crippled the economy and crushed the middle class. But when it came time to fix it, we put bankers in charge of the cleanup. Now, this is not an argument against expertise. It's not even a populist argument. Of course, bankers understand finance. Epidemiologists understand coronavirus far more than most people do. So turning to experts in crisis makes sense, and we should, and hopefully always will.
That is probably the most important minute and 50 seconds you're going to see probably this entire month, maybe this entire year. It's early. Again, for the little kid liberals listening, you can go turn off the show now. I mean that. It's not, I don't need your downloads or your views. We will be just fine. Please shut the show off because you're not going to handle what I'm about to tell you. Because I don't think you have the cerebral
They're going to kill
capacity
themselves.
outside of your
They're going to kill
TDS
yourself.
to process common sense anymore. What about what Tucker just said is unacceptable? In other words, he's not allowed. You have to understand the acceptable fence the liberal media has put around conversation right now is panic only. If you're not panicking people 24 hours a day, Joe, if you're not engaged in a 24-hour hysteria operation, you are not allowed to speak. And you will be shut out of the conversation as someone who wants blood and stock market returns only. 10 million people's jobs have been wiped out. They have been left with nothing on data that has not panned out. Some of you may take offense at the tone towards liberals today. I understand. I'm sorry. If it's not for you, I get it too. I'm not making any apologies. I'm sorry I'm not making any apologies for the tone. Because I'm going to explain to you why panic is the new normal and why it wasn't during a time I was a media figure. Because panic damages Trump right now. Panic damages the Republicans. And panic makes the government under the Trump administration look unacceptable. Therefore, any attempt to speak outside of their acceptable perimeter of conversation, saying common sense things like Tucker just said, like, hey, the data we use to shut down this entire economy about the threat, Joe, hasn't really panned out. Should we reevaluate that approach before we bankrupt another 20 or 40 million people? You're not allowed to say that. Panic only.
Easy, boss.
Everybody needs to watch this clip from The View yesterday where ultra-liberal Whoopi Goldberg rudely tells Meghan McCain to stop talking. Take a look at this.
We're gonna show ever. Girl, please stop talking. Please stop talking right now. Because you know what?
No
What's
problem.
happening? Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
I won't talk the rest of the show. No problem.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Good,
I'm okay with
brother.
that. If you're gonna behave like this,
I'm not behaving like
you
anything.
are. You are talking over. Yes, we understand that. But you are. What you're doing?
No, I'm not.
We're not doing that.
Now, why would I force you to watch that infuriating clip, you might ask? Because this is what leftists do. If you're a woman who dares to be conservative, if you're pro-life, if you're pro-gun, if you're pro-free market, if you reject radical leftist feminism,
they better be scared of me
women, the left
and
will try to
Jesus,
shut you
because
up.
I walk alongside of
That is
Jesus.
what Whoopi Goldberg did to Meghan McCain. Girl,
They
stop
scared.
talking. Forget debates. forget discussion, forget a table full of different opinions and perspectives. If you are a woman and you are conservative, you do not deserve to be heard, according to the radical left.
What?
Now, the ladies on The View claim that the way the media is covering the story is sexist. They claim the media never criticized men for behaving like this. But let me tell you, the only sexist thing going on here is the idea that liberal women think it's totally cool to degrade and silence conservative women because they're conservative, since liberals tell us conservative women aren't real women. And I know Whoopi Goldberg addressed this whole thing on their show today. She tried to brush it under the rug, but I'm not buying it. Take a look.
We're really passionate. This is our jobs. We come in, we talk to each other. Sometimes we're not as polite as we could be. That's just the way it is. But you're going to be dealing with the same thing when you sit around your table with your family and you don't agree. Or somebody says something and goes off the rails. This is part of what we do.
So Whoopi Goldberg blames her public disrespect of Meghan McCain on the fact that she thinks this is how normal families act. What? I don't know about you, but my family doesn't fight like that.
Bitch.
That's not how families should fight.
Use
if your family does fight like this, then you should use
the motherfucking bitch.
But regardless, if you are telling people that this kind of dysfunction and disrespect is normal, then what kind of example are you setting? Are you telling people that this is the best way to discuss your disagreements about politics with your family? Be better than that. And never let liberals silence you for being conservative. Ever.
Never. Never. If you're a liberal, don't ever do that. Y'all motherfuckers crazy.
Enough is enough with the World Health Organization and their ties to the Chinese Communist Party and their lies. The United States, which means the U.S. taxpayer, which means you and me, gives $400 million to the World Health Organization every year, according to data from 2019.
What the fuck we do?
And for
what the fuck they
so
do
the
with
World
that
Health
money?
Organization can tell us lies and parrot Chinese communist propaganda? World Health Organization official Bruce Aylward hung up the Skype call after a journalist
Let's call them out. Let's call them out. Because they've been controlled by the dark state. They've been controlled by the fucking dark state.
To appease the Chinese Communist Party. Take a look.
They're being controlled by the dark state.
The WHO considered Taiwan's membership? Hello? With the
Why? You ain't gotta jump down, bro.
Let me repeat the question.
Let's move
to another one then. Right, because I'm actually curious on talking about Taiwan as well.
And guess how they're gonna come for me? They already got a scope pointing in the window right at my head. Guess what?
In other words, the World Health Organization erased an entire country
that down.
because they were afraid of making the communists in China mad. The World Health Organization parroted Chinese propaganda about the contagion level of COVID-19 too, and praised China for how they handled it. Aylward, the same guy from the video, sucked up to the Chinese Communist Party by saying, if I had COVID-19, I'd want to be treated in China. Well, China has plenty of urns to go around. After lying to the world about stopping the virus, China suddenly distributed about 40,000 urns with the remains of cremated people believed to probably have died from COVID-19. But we'll get to that in a moment. The World Health Organization has also been flat wrong in their health recommendations. On January 14th, the World Health Organization tweeted, there is no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of coronavirus. False. On February 7th, they claimed masks don't necessarily protect you. False. On March 23rd, they warned treating COVID-19 with hydroxychloroquine could cause a drug shortage. False. The free market fixed that within a week. And yesterday, the World Health Organization doubled down and said, we stand by our recommendation that you shouldn't wear a face mask unless you are sick or caring for somebody who is sick. How does that make sense? If it's good for sick people to prevent them from spreading germs, and if it helps medical personnel from contracting the virus, why wouldn't it help everyday Americans not spread or catch the virus too? The World Health Organization is lying. The scientific studies show face masks work. The World Health Organization is telling you a lie. And we know China lied. They lied about the virus itself. They covered it up last year when they knew about it, maybe as early as October or November. The Chinese Communist Party disappeared a doctor who revealed publicly that she was told by Chinese authorities to hide the virus. That doctor is gone now. She used to be the head of emergency at Wuhan General Hospital. Her whereabouts now are unknown. The Chinese Communist Party also disappeared a billionaire businessman from China after he criticized President Xi Jinping how the president was handling the coronavirus. Then, via the Chinese state-run media, the Chinese government is threatening to withhold medical equipment and medication from the United States if we dare to crack down on their illegal behavior in other ways. And they still lie about the number dead. And yet, the World Health Organization keeps choosing to side with the Chinese Communist Party rather than tell the truth.
I'm telling you.
The American people should
this ain't a
demand
myth. This is not a fucking myth. It's
and it's
facts.
our security
It's
on the line
proven
if
facts.
the Chinese communists spread this virus,
I
lie
can
about
write
it,
a book.
and then cut us off.
Guess what? Guess what these motherfuckers are
What the
going to do to
mainstream
me?
media was too afraid to tell you about the news this week. This week, while the mainstream media obsessed about all things Trump, here are the things that happened that really matter. An Antifa militant attacked an ICE facility in Washington state with a rifle and with bombs. Fortunately, he was killed by authorities before he managed to harm anybody. And the manifesto he left as justification for his attacks copied AOC's rhetoric, calling the migrant detention facilities concentration camps. But did the mainstream media report on this? Did they call for gun control because the man used a rifle? Or
The
blame
ones
hate
who don't
speech since the
reply
man
with that
quoted
vaccine,
AOC's inflammatory
we
rhetoric?
get took to
Or demonize white men since the attacker was an old white
concentration
man?
camps.
No. The mainstream media refused to cover this story. At another ICE facility this week in Colorado, anti-ICE protesters
'Cause they ain't
decimated the
paid to.
American flag and replaced the American flag with the Mexican flag, surrounding the ICE facility in an angry mob, and in the process, blocking actual migrants who needed to access the facility from being able to enter. But did the mainstream media condemn the mob? Did they even report this story? No. They ignored the whole thing. 22 MS-13 gang members arrested and charged with the heinous murders of 7 people in Los Angeles this week. And
Nobody will
19
listen.
of the 22 murderers were illegal aliens. These 19 broke our laws to come here illegally, and then they ripped the heart out of a live victim and then dismembered his body and threw body parts in a can.
But y'all worrying about a
But did the mainstream
COVID-19
media
virus.
report on this story? Did the mainstream media tell the truth?
What's the point of like wondering what's going to happen? Like, could that you're having a good week as always. We're going to talk about what the internet seems to be buzzing about, and a lot of social media and mainstream media alike, which is
Ain't
the
no
idea
social
that Trump
distance
talked about
with me.
disinfectant, and it's
It's
really
you know why?
disappointing to
Because
see
everybody
some people,
afraid of
spreading
a real
misinformation or confusion. So
person
what we're going to do here is
or
we're going to play
outspoken person
the clip. We'll just play the clip. We'll listen
Who-
to it. We'll listen to what he said. And I
who
think the most
open-minded.
disappointing part about all
They
this is
scared of
you know,
him.
the window
They
of what we
scared
should
of
be
me.
talking about has
So
been
they
moved.
got to get
And,
rid
my
of
last
me
video, if you
to
watch
see
it,
what
does
I
sunlight
know
help or is
about
not
them.
sunlight a key factor?
I'm telling
You'll
you,
find out that
the
the Department of
CIA
Homeland Security
is running the
science and
cartel.
technology sector, I
And
guess they
I
work with
said
Johns
this
Hopkins
in many of
University,
my
and
fucking
came to the
interviews.
conclusion that
The
sunlight may
CIA
stop
is
the
running the
virus or,
cartel.
you know,
I don't give a
disassemble it,
fuck
whatever you want to call
what
it,
you say.
very quickly. And
You can call
that's
me a
big
drunk
revelation.
ass,
They also
broke
said that
motherfucker,
indoors
whatever.
in certain areas is where it
Bitch,
spreads
I'm making money.
more, or rather not spreads more, but stays
You,
alive more than in sunlight, which
on
is
the
huge
whole
and should have a
side
big impact
of
on what,
things,
you know,
ain't making no
states
money
decide to
but
open and
cartel
close,
money.
because a lot of their other theories, I think, revolved around other
You
things.
is
So we're going
not
to talk
in
about it. We're going to
bed
talk
with
about
the
what Trump said,
CIA
and
for them.
we're going to talk about science, and then we're also going to talk about the
First
fact
of all,
he
how
actually
they
pretty
get
much
how
walked
they
back
get all
his
these
statement
drugs
and said he was being
into the country?
sarcastic, which I think is
The
not
CIA
true.
running
And I
them
think
planes.
Trump supporters know that's not true, and people who don't
Pay
like him know
attention.
that's not
Pay
true.
attention.
But we're
Pay
going to get
attention,
to it
young
because
people.
I'm not quite sure what everyone's talking about, what they're listening to, and the amount of politicians, media sources, and just random people spreading ridiculous rumors of stuff that he never said is just at an all-time high. So we'll listen to it. Let's drink a coffee. This is brand new. So the founder of BET, also known as Black Entertainment Television.
Let me really 2,400 years tell you about something that is happening with the banks and the Federal Reserve that nobody is talking about. Yeah, they're talking about it on CNBC, but they're talking about it in a way that it doesn't matter to you. This matters a lot. On Tuesday this week, the Federal Reserve announced that it would offer banks an overnight repo operation. Now, repo is Wall Street jargon for repurchase agreement. Now, when's the last time the Federal Reserve was repurchasing things from banks? Do you remember? It was TARP. It allowed the Federal Reserve to go in and buy, with your money, go and buy different assets that were failing. Now, repo is a mechanism for short-term, generally a one-day loan. This is something that the banks, they have to have a certain amount of cash in the bank overnight. And so sometimes they'll just put assets up for sale and they'll say, we need the money for the overnight. And then the next day they repurchase the same asset back. Now, during the Tuesday repo operation, the Fed pledged $55 billion worth of funds available to the banks. And the banks could sell the Fed their assets. Now, they were selling mortgage-backed securities or U.S. Treasury bonds, and that way the banks would have the cash. On Tuesday, the repo was oversubscribed by more than $5 billion. That means the bank showed up asking for cash, more cash than the Fed thought that they would even need. And that number was out by $5 billion. And so they thought, okay, well, there might be a bigger problem here. So Wednesday, now remember, they haven't done this once in 10 years. They haven't done this since the collapse of the market. So the next day, Wednesday, they did it twice, or they did it a second time. This time they said, okay, we're going to come to the table with $75 billion. So if anybody needs money tonight, we have $75 billion. Well, this time the banks showed up and they needed an additional $12 billion over the 75. Now, yesterday, the Fed chairman Powell, he announced a quarter-point cut in the interest rate. So he's lowering the interest rate, and we're going to have to get to that at some point. But he also said they'd do another round of repos last night for another $75 billion. So they haven't done this since 2008. They've done it now 3 days in a row. That tells you something is wrong. This is the first time since 2009 the Federal Reserve have stepped into the banking sector and offered cash. Second, the amount is really significant. The banking sector just asked the Federal Reserve to inject $200 billion into the banks for just operating capital. That's what this is operating capital. Overnight lending is bank to bank usually, and it runs a few $1 billion a day across the banking sector. So, Bank of America can call JP Morgan and say, hey, I want to swap some assets for some cash. Do you have some extra cash that you don't need tonight just to make sure that, we're stable overnight? And usually it's bank to bank. This is the banks calling the other banks, and the banks are like, I don't have any money. I'm going myself to the Fed. Now, the third reason the Fed stepped in here was to control the interest rates and ensure that the Fed's target interest rate of 2% was maintained. Now, since the banks lend money to each other all the time, Bank A needs some cash on hand to cover a given market position or to ensure it meets its cash reserve requirement set by the federal government or the Fed. So Bank B agrees to lend them money by purchasing the assets from Bank A with an agreement that Bank A will buy those same assets back at a future date, most likely in the morning, at the same price plus a fee. The banks do this all the time. And they do it at the Fed's interest rate, their target interest rate. As of yesterday, that was 1.75%. Now, the funny thing about the free market is the free market will tell you what's really going on. So what is the price of money right now with the banks? The Federal Reserve says it should be 1.75%. That's the interest that they would pay to borrow money. However, the interest rates at the bank due to the free market, where the banks were like, look, I don't have the money. How much more? How out of whack was the 1.75 set by the Fed? It was only off by 500%. They were asking 10% fees to loan to the other bank for sometimes 12 to 18 hours. So that's why the Fed stepped in, because they're like, whoa, what is going on here? This is a sign that the banks are very risk averse, much more risk averse than the Fed thinks they should be. Now, if the hairs aren't standing up on the back of your neck yet, they should be. This sort of exercise is exactly what happened to Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns in 2007. But it's happening with now the only 6 banks that we have. The Fed stepping into the market to give more cash unannounced 3 days in a row screams something is very wrong. There is a massive lack of cash at hand. We're also already in a very loose and cheap money environment with really super low interest rates and trillions in cash that has just been printed and injected in the market by the way of quantitative easing. The fact that the banks need $75 billion of extra cash every day, day after day, is a sign that something is dramatically wrong. Now, here's what we don't know. We don't know why the banks need this much liquidity this quickly. It could be that they just are covering short positions on bonds or energy derivatives that need to be covered, given the recent spike in oil. It could be caused by Aramco. We don't know. It could be banks using capital in the short term to cover reserve requirements as part of a quarterly audit. Or it could be many of these banks have overseas investments in stocks and real estate and futures market that are now taking losses, and they need cash to cover their margin calls overseas. The truth is, we won't know until the banks are audited sometime in the fourth quarter. Anytime the Federal Reserve is stepping directly into markets to inject cash, something has gone very wrong somewhere in the gears of this very complex machine that grinds our economy. One day it could be administrative error or market timing of a set of bonds maturing and they need to be paid off or refinanced. 2 days in a row indicates that it's a little more than that, probably covering some short or some, dare I say it, I hate to even use this word, derivative position that many investment banks were in the crumbling of 2008, and they're in again. But 3 days in a row, $75 billion a day of new cash needed by U.S. banks. This hasn't happened since the financial crisis. That's banks telling us something is wrong. It's probably more than just a warning sign, more like an exit sign. Get off on this off-ramp. Now, here's what's worse. Trump suggests that we need to move the interest rate to 0 or negative. This is the worst possible thing we could do right now. It would fuel more speculation and give a bigger bubble on Wall Street. It would also cause trillions of dollars that Europe is now sending our way, and they're putting it all in our stock market and our US treasuries. If we move our interest rate to 0 or negative, it would take all of that money and ship it back overseas into Europe and Asia and the Middle East. The more likely Fed response will be more bailouts overnight, and nobody will talk about it. Without the formal quantitative easing, they just give this money to the banks. We are printing money to bail out the banks again. And the last time the banks were doing this to shore up their balance sheets was 2008. It was a warning sign then that we talked about, and very few people recognized it as the time. I'm warning you again. Please recognize this warning signal this time around.
$96,360 hours left until the Democrats tell us the Earth will be past the point of no return due to climate change. And yet, we spend 7 of those precious hours listening to pandering Democrat politicians who fly private jets, lecture us on CNN about banning plastic straws and demonizing red meat and aborting more brown babies. I warned you. I warned you months ago, after the Democrats revealed their ridiculous Green New Deal, that the next iteration of the climate change hysteria would be population control. And you know what? I was right.
on here forever.
Bernie Sanders admitted last night he wants the government to force you to pay for abortions in foreign countries to curb the global population. Watch this.
Educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact. Would you be courageous enough to discuss this issue and make it a key feature of a plan to address climate catastrophe?
Well, Martha, the answer is yes. And the answer has everything to do with the fact that women in the United States of America, by the way, have a right to control their own bodies and make reproductive decisions. And the Mexico City Agreement, which denies American aid to those organizations around the world that allow women to have abortions or even get involved in birth control, to me is totally absurd. So I think, especially in poor countries around the world, where women do not necessarily want to have large numbers of babies, and where they can have the opportunity through birth control to control the number of kids they have, something I very, very strongly support.
You want to talk about racism? You want to talk about genocide? You want to talk about eugenics? Do you know what funding abortion to encourage population control means? Bernie Sanders wants to kill brown people in foreign countries to make up for his own giant carbon footprint.
But he marched with Dr. King.
But if we
how
kill the next
you know
generation,
Bernie
who are we
Sanders
even saving
wasn't the one
for?
who got him
Imagine
killed?
funding abortion so you don't feel
Who got
guilty
Dr.
jetting
Martin
down to
Luther
communist
King killed?
countries in private jets. How is Bernie Sanders still in this race? And dear Lord, where does this end? First, you are forced to pay for abortions to kill brown people in foreign countries so they don't overpopulate the earth. Then what? When will we be forced by the government to have only one child ourselves? How long until Bernie Sanders endorses China's one-child policy that forces abortions on women who violate the one-child dictate? If climate change is truly going to end our earth in 11 years, and population control is a critical way to save the earth, critical enough that Bernie Sanders wants to force us to...
This pause will be in effect for 60 days, after which the need for any extension or modification will be evaluated by myself and a group of people based on economic conditions at the time.
Right. So is this about protecting American jobs? Because he was talking about, holding up or stopping green cards. And most of the people he's trying to keep out of the country, he says, are flocking over the border. So why are you stopping people with green cards? I don't understand. Is this just him trying to make good on yet another campaign promise from the side? Sonny?
I think this is just actually will be more fake news from the Trump administration trying to distract and deflect from his woefully inadequate response to the coronavirus. We have over 40,000 Americans now.
All right, y'all be the fools. Y'all be the fucking fools. She's not gonna take us into slavery. He's too dumb for that. He ain't smart enough. He ain't smart enough to take us back into slavery, because all the computer, all the technologies, I tell you, when martial law come to get me, and I'm gonna tell you, straight the fuck up, as a wise man. Look. You see, yeah, I smoke a lot of weed. You know, I got a Snoop shirt on. One thing about me, I do this shit. I do this shit with my legs closed. They can come and fucking get me. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Because you know why? Because everything is a myth. Everything ain't real that you see on national TV. Everything ain't real. Realism comes from the people. That's why they want us 6 feet from each other. So to get my point across, I gotta talk to you 6 feet. Fuck up my face. You's a bunch of coward ass motherfucking liberal. If you gonna let that shit stand, bitch, I'd never let that shit stand in my country, in my neighborhood. Bitch, soon them tanks come running around. Bitch, I'm blazing back. Bitch, I'm coming out my fucking house. You got to kill me. I'm going to die for something, then stand for nothing. Motherfucker, you better get me right in this new world order. Bitch, y'all going to be scared of me. Bitch, I don't bow down. I don't bow down. I don't bow down to no man or no woman. I only bow down to the higher power when he tell me to bow down. Bitch, and they ain't y'all. Y'all playing God. Y'all trying to play God in your own confidence. Y'all trying to play God. Bitch, do you know the devil was a sneaky motherfucker? He trying to make you think you playing God, but it wasn't God. It was his greedy, selfish ass. Pay attention to what you do. Pay attention. I'm telling you. Pay attention, black people. Pay attention. Pay attention. Everything needs attention by all means. Because look, the devil, you give him credit for every fucking thing in the world. But it's only one higher power that controls all of it. I'm telling you. This is what happened. This is what's going to happen. Long as she gets some, long as my mom gets some. That's my mom.
Okay, if my man was wearing this, I would be all over him.
You may not have lived during a world war, but you are living in one now. This war, however, unlike any we have seen in American history. An invisible enemy crossing the globe with a virtual paintbrush, splashing its venom across countries and continents. We are hunkered down, sheltered in place, shutting our businesses, and praying for light at the end of the tunnel. 300,000 Americans stricken, more than 8,000 killed, and we are nowhere near the apex. The United States is indeed at war. And the leader of the most powerful nation on earth is now in a wartime posture.
They the
We watch
lizard
President
people.
Donald Trump
They
daily
the shit
as he works to take this nation from a place of frightening vulnerability to a place of physical, economic, and spiritual strength. A leader who understands his number one responsibility is to protect his citizens. At the same time, as a businessman, he is mindful of the free enterprise system that has produced the vast wealth to fund the vital institutions that protect us, including our healthcare system. And he is working to get us back to that thriving economy.
The healthcare
that he
system
created
do
for
not
us.
give a fuck.
President
The
Trump's
worldwide
focus is singular,
organization do not
finding
give
solutions
a fuck
to
about
win
it.
this war. Beginning in January,
I'm telling you.
blocking those from coming from China
Trump
nearly 10 days
trying to shut their
after
asses
the
down.
first coronavirus case was
But
identified
the
in the
doctor,
United States. He
what's
brought
his
together
name,
the most brilliant minds in science and medicine, healthcare, the
Fauci,
economy, energy, and manufacturing to fight this
I'm
invisible
telling you,
enemy.
he
And he brings
he
them
ain't
out to
letting
be
them up
questioned, indeed cross-examined by the mainstream media in a way that no other president has in the past. He fears no one and is not
I don't
afraid
fear
of
no
complete
one.
Transparency. He has
Only
triggered the
fear
Defense
one man.
Production Act, a war
Myself,
mobilization effort
looking in the
to
mirror
begin
every
mass
day.
production
At
of needed
myself.
supplies. But before that, he engaged in a public-private partnership, giving credit to companies like Walmart and Walgreens and Target, Boeing
What's
and
wrong
more.
with that?
Companies who stepped up, companies who asked for nothing, but offered help in spite of the fact that they were suffering their own financial hardships. And he's
What's
called
wrong
out
with
companies
that?
like 3M and GM for
Bitch,
not
you
doing
work
all
for
they
the
can
dark-
to help
You work
America
for the
fight the
dark state,
virus.
bitch. Get off my
And
shit.
appear to not be cut, those
Well, I'm
people
a
from the
citizen.
same cloth as those other companies that have stepped up almost immediately. Now, the Navy ship, the hospital ship, USNS Comfort, stocked and equipped with medical and pharmaceutical equipment, is in the New York Harbor, and its sister ship, the Mercy, is on the West Coast. The left and mainstream media said he couldn't and wouldn't be able to deliver as promised, but in typical Trump fashion, he delivered ahead of schedule. Thank God, at this moment in America's history, we have a businessman as a president of the United States. As leader, President Trump doesn't listen to the lieutenants who are moaning and whining and making outrageous claims as they sit and pontificate about what should be done for them, about what they need, which in some cases they already have. President Trump is more than capable and would be more than justified to counterpunch based on some of those ridiculous claims that he could easily rebut.
But as the president fiddles, people are dying.
Nancy, the only person fiddling is you, as you delay the passage of a much-needed bill. So
Damn,
you can get in your
that's
projects.
fucked up. How you gonna
But
get
as a
on that?
wartime president,
Hello,
President
yeah,
Trump
blah,
has
blah,
neither
blah,
the
blah.
time nor
We're
the
lizard
inclination
tongue.
to engage with you. He is in full throttle wartime mode as a general, exquisitely focused on keeping all of us safe
Hey, bro.
and healthy.
I
president
told
has
you,
talked about how he's
I
gotten
told
to
you
life.
about feeding you
One of
out
his biggest
tonight.
critics, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Now you done made a
He's
whole
being
lizard
complimented by
family.
California Governor Gavin Newsom. He even complimented congressional Democrats for pulling together on the latest $2.2 trillion stimulus bill, choosing not to comment on the absurd effort to include the Green New Deal, abortion funding, and millions for the Kennedy Center. The president has been beyond gracious, even to Chinese President Xi Jinping, whom he says he's working with to fight the virus. Many believe this virus, whatever you choose to call it, stems from the wet markets in Wuhan, China, where animals like wombats and pigs and other wild animals lie next to each other in open markets. A virtual petri dish where disease can jump from animals to humans. And even Dr. Anthony Fauci, in response to whether or not wet markets should exist, said this.
I think they should shut down those things right away. I mean, it boggles my mind how when we have so many diseases that emanate out of that unusual human-animal interface that we don't just shut it down. I don't know what else has to happen.
When this is over, one thing has to be clear. China has to be made accountable for, at the very least, its complete lack of transparency. China could have prevented a great deal of pain and loss, both physical and economic, had they been honest. But they never have been honest. And we have a lot of time to think about how this needs to be resolved as it relates to China when this is all over.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're instituting a surveillance state now. Have you thought about, but Dan, we can't have people violating the curfew. Oh, okay. So you want a government surveillance state instituted where neighbors are literally calling the police to fine people for going out to walking their dogs? You think that's an appropriate trade-off? I'm just checking. Let's go to Tucker last night. He had a great point last night about how the response to this, the public response, stay off the streets. Matter of fact, if you don't stay off the streets, the government wants people snitching on you now. No, I'm not kidding. You'll see the end of this cut by the Los Angeles mayor embedded in the Tucker clip, where the Los Angeles mayor is encouraging people, it's the end of it, encouraging people to call the cops and rat people out if they're on the street. I'm not joking. And Tucker brings up this point about how, ladies and gentlemen, bonds are being here, sacred bonds that I'm not sure we can ever rebuild. I mean, I'm a conservative, largely a libertarian when it comes to economic and government issues. So you'd say, well, clearly you don't trust the government. I don't trust anybody, so it's not a relevant question. But I don't mistrust the government. I don't. I'm wary. I like the fact that we have oversight. I like the fact that we have the ability, even with police departments and fire departments, and even with our military, to engage in oversight. But I do trust them in some respect. I mean, when I get pulled over by a police officer, I don't automatically assume like, gosh, he's here to like take my money or something. I mean, in some countries, ladies and gentlemen, that happens. You got to be more worried about the cops. Not here. So it's not an accurate statement. I do trust the government to some respect with, with proper oversight. But ladies and gentlemen, bonds are being broken altogether when you can't even go out and walk your dog without worrying about the mayor of Los Angeles encouraging your neighbors to call the cops on you. The effects of this are going to be long lasting. I want you to listen to a very, very well-worded minute by Tucker Carlson on exactly this topic and the draconian response to a threat we haven't even fully understood yet. Check this out.
coronavirus.lacity.org/business violation. You know the old expression about snitches? Well, in this case, snitches get rewards. We want to thank you for turning folks in and making sure we are all safe.
So you just saw the mayor of our second biggest city offering to pay citizens to snitch on their neighbors for, among other things, daring to go to work. Working is one activity we've decided should not be allowed. Jogging, fishing, golf, fine. Being employed, a massive threat to public health. We've decided that offices are somehow more dangerous than supermarkets, far more dangerous, though no one has to date bothered to explain how.
Snitches have gone from stitches to riches. That sucks.
Joe knows the saying. You didn't even need to be coached on that one. That is this. If you grew up in the city like I did, Joe knows the hard school of hard knocks too. The saying he's the LA mayor is grossly using, which is totally inappropriate for that, is snitches get stitches, meaning we beat the hell out of them when they rat on you to the cops. That's what he's trying to say. But he says, oh, snitches get rewards in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, we're instituting a surveillance state now. Have you thought about, but Dan, we can't have people violating the curfew. Oh, okay. So you want a government surveillance state instituted where neighbors are literally calling the police to fine people for going out to walking their dogs? You think that's an appropriate trade-off? I'm just checking. Now, again, if your response to that is, well, you just want people to die, I'm not the right host for you because that's not what I'm saying. You're mischaracterizing it and you're engaging in a simple straw man argument. That is not what I'm saying. Obviously, right now, in the middle of an outbreak of this virus, which is deadly for a lot of people, there are going to have to be some control measures. Recommending that we all go and visit our grandparents in a nursing home while walking around in a public while a pandemic is raging is probably a pretty stupid idea and a reasonable measure that people will understand and won't fracture the bond of government, because reasonable people will say that's a reasonable measure. Calling the cops on your 70-year-old neighbor who's walking Fido outside and having the government give them a ticket because they're walking Fido while they've encountered no one in public is kind of stupid, no? Strikes you maybe as a little bit, tad bit unreasonable? As these unreasonable measures start to pile up, that government bond is being fractured. And Tucker brings up a very interesting point here, which I'll cover in this next clip from the same monologue. It's about 8 minutes long, but I had to cut it because I don't have the time. He brings up another point. Has government ever explained to us how this whole shutdown thing is working, Joe, given the fact that we haven't shut down the grocery stores? We can't shut down them. We have to eat. I'm not suggesting we should. Let me be crystal clear. Unlike that dope at the White House press briefing. Why are we not shutting down the grocery store? Because we got to eat? Gee, I don't know. Didn't think of that one. Oh, calorie thing, kilocalorie. But has anyone explained to us the benefit of shutting the economy down while people are still going to the one place, Joe, everybody in a neighborhood goes? And as Paula brought up to me this morning, we touch stuff, we handle stuff, there's nice thin aisles. Has anybody explained this? So just to be clear, you own a dry cleaning business where you can put gloves on, put a mask on, and ask that your clients come in, drop their stuff, and you'll hand them a receipt. That's too dangerous. Shut that dry cleaner down. He can't earn any money, and people can't get their clothes dry cleaned because it's too dangerous. But this same guy can go to a grocery store and handle the tomatoes and the oranges that the customer was just handling 2 minutes before as he went to the same grocery store. I'm confused here. No, Dan, that's different. That's different. We have to eat. No, Dan, that's not different. Because grocery stores aren't free. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. There isn't any difference. Here's the second part of this. I'm going to get this Holman Jenkins quote in a minute from one of his pieces because it's great. And it's something I've been trying to hammer home to you. We're not talking about good answers here. Shut down or not, or you want people to die. That's a straw man argument. That's fake. That's a simpleton's argument. We're not talking about good versus bad. We're talking about bad versus worse. We live in a world of bad, harmful options. The question we make is, the question we ask and we try to answer is, how do we maximize human prosperity by mitigating harmful effects amongst a world of bad choices? What do you mean, Dan? Bad choices? Ladies and gentlemen, we drill into the earth all the time. Harmful to the earth, we can get oil out of it. Oh my gosh, we can't do that. That's terrible. We're drilling into the earth. What would you want mass starvation instead? Mass starvation, drilling into the earth. I'll take drilling into the earth, Alex, for 100. Bad choices, right? There's nothing good about drilling into the earth. Nothing. Doesn't help the planet out. But if we don't drill into the earth for energy, we all starve to death and die. Tucker brings this point up, and again, a brilliant monologue last night. This piece is a little longer, a minute and a half or more. But I want you to listen to this, where he talks about how we're really not being explained how in this world of bad choices, leave the economy open, ask people to take protective measures at the known risk they may contract the Wuhan virus, or close the economy down, bankrupt everybody while everyone's going to the grocery store anyway. Has anyone even explained to us how we're weighing these options? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Check this out.
Mass unemployment is almost certain to cause far more harm, including physical harm, to the average family than this disease. In 1967, two psychiatric researchers decided to rank traumatic life events in order of how profoundly they affected people's health. Stress can kill you, we know that, and they wanted to determine which kinds of stress were the most dangerous. The doctors found that losing a job ranked high on the list of health-degrading traumas. Joblessness came in well above death of a close friend, to put it in some perspective. If you ever found yourself unemployed with dependents to take care of, you understand this. Unfortunately, many of our policymakers don't understand. They've never been in that position. They never will be. Our professional class doesn't have much interest in middle-class job loss or its consequences. We know that because they've essentially ignored it for decades, not to mention the family disintegration and the drug epidemics it has spawned. So far, about 10,000 Americans have died from the Wuhan coronavirus. That number will rise, and it will likely include people you know. That's a tragedy. But it's not the only tragedy in progress in this country. In 2018, more than 67,000 Americans died of drug overdoses. The year before, more than 70,000 died. That's more than the entire population of the towns most of us grew up in. And those totals are far lower than the real number, according to people who study the question. The drug epidemic has permanently changed the demographics of this country, but for some reason, CNN has not kept a running tally of drug casualties on the screen. Why is that? Well, you know why. It's not their peer group. It doesn't seem real. They're not that interested. And the same thing is going on now. If the coronavirus shutdown was crushing college administrators or nonprofit executives or green energy lobbyists, it would have ended last week. Instead, it's mainly service workers and small business owners who have been hurt, and they're not on television talking about what they're going through. You need to look closely to see their suffering.
Honestly, you can't say it much better than that.
Yeah. Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne's, whatever you want to call it. I think he's Charlotte the Fool, but he's got a radio show called The Breakfast Club. He preaches a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of poison to black and brown people all day. Yeah, he's a liberal radio host. Yeah. Now, before I roll the clip, I gotta warn you, white people, this black man is racist. Roll the damn clip.
I gave donkey to Alabama Governor Kay Ivey and the 25 mayonnaise-flavored mammals who voted 25-6 to sign into an abortion bill. These old Caucasian colonizers in Alabama don't care if you get pregnant via rape, via incest. They just don't want you having abortions, period. Some are saying the reasons they are doing this are religious. I am not a biblical scholar, so somebody please send me the Bible scripture that says abortion is wrong. I haven't researched it, but I'm down to learn.
First things first, man, the things you were saying about white people is racist. What if a white man walked in your radio station and said, you know what? It's too much tar in here. Too much oil in here. Yeah, it's all white people mayonnaise, man. Come on, man. Oil spills. It's too much oil spill action going on. Too much darkness. First of all, let me tell you something. You're not going to find the term abortion in the Bible. That's something that evil liberals invented. Yeah, it's a euphemism that was created in the late 1800s, early 1900s, I think. What you're going to find in the Bible is the term murder, because that's what abortion is, you know. You do realize that, right? Don't take a scholar to know that. Hey, white people get worse. Yeah, it gets much worse. Roll the damn clip.
Now, I was looking at some abortion statistics, and I saw that 37% of women having abortions are white, 37% are black, 19% Hispanic, 7% of other races. My first question always when things like this happen is why? That's what I was trying to figure out yesterday. What is all of this? Why do these men care so much when it comes to what women do with their bodies? And it hit me. This is all about self-preservation for the white race. So when you understand that some white people have a fear of a brown planet, you ban abortions.
Everybody in my family is
really all the states with passed this abortion ban, the red states, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Ohio, Kentucky, Utah, Arkansas. Population of these places is white.
Everybody.
Okay, heavy white. Heavy Republican. Too much goddamn.
They're so scared. Oh, he's gonna get shut down. Bitch, what the fuck? Get shut down from what?
You wanna know why?
My own fucking mind.
You don't know why. You don't watch TV, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. Everybody's talking about it. You talk about self-preservation. I'm gonna tell you why. The states of New York and Virginia are batshit crazy. They're all for late-term abortions. I'm talking 9-month abortions. Babies that's already been born. It has nothing to do with a woman's body. The baby's on the delivery table, breathing on its own, and they're aborting the kids then. Yeah, that's the wrong term for
now.
For
you're
that.
Playing God.
It's murder outside the woman. Yeah, it's murder outside the woman. And I'm tired of hearing this stuff about a man can't tell a woman what to do with her body. Yeah. Okay, I agree with that. But we're not talking about your body. Yeah. We talk about the body inside your body. Yeah, did you ever think about that, women? Yeah, think about it now. You can do whatever you want with your body. Yeah. But if you got another body in you, now you don't have no say-so in if that body lives or dies, not in Alabama. Yeah, but now, as far as the self-preservation argument, I don't know where you need to stop reading everything you see on the internet. This is the dumbest shit I've heard since Jesse. This is mega country. Let me tell you something.
Yo,
Blacks
stop, bro.
are on the decline in this country. The population of blacks on the decline in this country. Since Roe versus Wade, 19 million black babies have been aborted. And it doesn't take into consideration the white women that was impregnated by black men. Now, let me fill you in on something. Now, Planned Parenthood, they were founded by Margaret Sanger. Yeah. And she was a white supremacist. She believed in eugenics. Now, if you don't know what eugenics is, eugenics believe all non-white people, right, and people with disabilities are human weeds and should be exterminated, and they should not be allowed to procreate. Why else do you think Planned Parenthood is in all these black neighborhoods? Think about that. Oh, is it making sense now? You stupid motherfucker. Look, man, you are so blinded by identity politics, you're helping exterminate your own race. Yeah, Margaret Sanger's dead and gone. But thank God she has your dumb black ass. You got the movement going strong. So black women, brown women, if you listen to this fool, it's not about self-preservation. The reason why these states are passing these laws, because Democrats have lost their fucking minds. Yeah. It was, abortion's not about pro-choice. It's about exterminating non-whites. Got a little story for you. Yeah. Like, we grew up in a poor family. We were slave poor. Yeah, all we ate was can of pork and beans and cornbread, pig's feet. And when we didn't have that, I used to climb over this fence and steal apples off this white man's tree. And I would go take the apples to Mama. She would make the best tasting apple pie. Right. Man, I can still taste that apple pie. Mama take some cinnamon. All right, man, that's enough. Man, remember the pies, man. Let me tell you this story, man. Let me tell you a story. When Mama found out she was pregnant with us, she went to the doctor. Yeah. And the doctor said, hey, look here, woman. You dirt shit poor. You can't afford to have these damn kids. Yeah. I tell you what, though. It'd be a whole lot cheaper if you abort them. Yeah. It'll save you a whole lot of heartache because you ain't going to be able to raise these kids. Yeah. Thank God my mama didn't decide to do that. Or otherwise, I would be here to cuss your fucking black ass out. I hope that God, black people don't look up to you, man. They do. I hope they see that you don't know what you're talking about. You ought to see the comments on that damn video. Fucking period sanity. If they really wanted to stay the majority white folks, they would approve abortion. Yeah. Because we're the ones killing all our babies. Yeah. In Alabama, 60% of the abortions are black babies. Yeah. Black people, we only make up 10% of the population. We're doing over 40% of all the abortions. 40%. We only make up 10% of the population. Now, in the black community, abortion is looked at like birth control. And black people, you know, that's sick. That's sad, man. Yeah, and these white people in these red states, they're like, that shit ain't spilling over into our fucking states because this is a moral decay of society is what it is. That's what Democrats are doing. Look what they're doing in your states. It's all about pro-choice, right? Who's going to suffer from that? Your black ass. The minority groups. So keep voting for them fools.
Sorts of forms. Y'all really scared of me. I'm talking about some real shit. But Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'm gonna put on some more videos, like real shit.
A new study in New York State finds 13.9% of people test positive for COVID-19 antibodies in their blood. That means 2.7 million people in New York State have likely already been infected with the coronavirus.
I got it.
As of right now,
I
there are
need to chip in me.
257,216 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in New York State. And 15,302 people have died. That's a crude case fatality rate of 6%. But
that's the story
if
the news
true
want to
number
tell
of
you.
infections in New York is 2.7 million, which is more than 10 times the number of confirmed cases statewide currently, and 15,000 people have died, that is an infection fatality rate of 0.5%.
Wow,
and
what
keep in
you
mind,
said, Mom?
the
I got
15,000
me
deaths
right now.
includes probable cases too, which is absurd.
Hold on.
And before anybody else fuss about that comment, that's not my
You're a
speculation.
doctor.
That's straight from
Go
the
to
CDC
hospital.
and the New York Health Commission.
I want
You can
this
see for
shit
yourself.
out of me.
The CDC
I'm gonna cut
says
it out
coding
myself.
probable cases as COVID-19.
I know how to cut it out.
This means if you have COVID-like respiratory symptoms and you die, even if you never tested positive for COVID-19,
I know how to
they
cut
would
it
code
out.
you as a COVID-19 death. You tell me.
I
All you have to do is look at the data. Because most COVID-like symptoms aren't actually
to my
COVID,
hands.
some other respiratory virus. How
I'll
do I
be
know?
bleeding all
Because
over
look
this
at the percentages
bitch.
of people who are tested for COVID who test positive. Even in hotspots,
They scared.
less
They
than half
scared of a
symptomatic
real
people are testing
person
positive for
who
COVID-19.
gonna die
Which means
for
more than
his-
half the time,
for
people
his
with COVID-like
reality.
symptoms don't have COVID-19. And yet,
My
New
grandpa
York is
died
coding
for his.
anybody who died with COVID-like symptoms as a COVID death. That inflates death numbers
Pay
for sure.
attention.
Now, in New York City specifically, this same study found that 21.2% of people who were tested positive for COVID-19 antibodies. On Long Island,
Hey, Mom,
16.7%
you did
of
test
people
positive
tested
for
positive for
COVID-19.
antibodies. This is a randomized study. They took 3,000 random samples
Why they
from
ain't get
40
you out my
locations
house
in 19
yet?
counties, which means
What,
it's
you here to
intended to
snitch
be
on me?
population,
For
which
the
means you
government?
can't extrapolate
You got
it to the
paid off?
population. So for New York City, the population is 8.4 million. If 21.2% tested positive for antibodies, then perhaps 1.78 million people have already been infected with COVID-19 in the city. That means even in the worst hotspot in our country for the virus outbreak, it's a 0.6% fatality rate. And remember, patterns in these studies are important. The New York antibody study found the same number of people who tested positive for antibodies as the New York City maternity ward, who tested 210 asymptomatic women and found 13.6% of them tested positive. This is similar to antibody studies from Santa Clara, California, and LA County, and the study out of Kansas, and the Diamond Princess cruise, and Dutch, German, and French studies that all show much higher incidence rates of the virus, and therefore much lower hospitalization rates and much, much lower infection fatality rates. And you may hear some people say, well, COVID-19 is still 5 to 8 times deadlier than the flu. But that's misleading because it's only partly true. Of course, 0.5% fatality rate is not good. It's definitely not good. For people over the age of 65, yes, COVID-19 is deadly at a much higher rate.
65 yet.
But for healthy people under the age of 65, and for children specifically, COVID-19 is much, much less deadly than even the seasonal influenza. In fact, another recent study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that 94% of hospitalized COVID-19 patients in New York City had serious underlying health conditions. The medical community calls that comorbidities. 53% suffered from hypertension, 42% were obese, and 32% had diabetes. The median age of a hospitalized COVID-19 patient in New York City is 63 years old. Now, this isn't to downplay the virus. We should do everything we can within reason to protect these vulnerable populations of people from COVID-19. But it's this data and not the doomsday projection models that should be informing political policy. And you should make sure your elected officials know that.
Peace, family. 19 Keys tapping in with you. I got 2 lessons for y'all today. One is on righteous capitalism versus corrupt white patriarchal intellectual capitalism. And the second one is family business. Now, both of these particular keys are prompted by Jeff Bezos and some of his recent business.
If you thought the media and entertainment industry couldn't get more insane, think again. They've apparently created a movie that shows elites hunting down Trump supporters slated to hit theaters in September. This film includes lines such as, "At least the hunt's coming up. Nothing better than going out to the manor and slaughtering a dozen deplorables." This is a big Universal Pictures release. Directed by Craig Zobel, co-written by Damon Lindelof, starring Ike Barinholtz, Betty Gilpin, Emma Roberts, Hilary Swank, Jason Blum. And the problem that they see isn't the fact that they made a psychotic movie about killing their political opponents. After 2 years of hysteria, delusion, lying, crying, screaming, rigging Google search results, that's not the problem. The problem is Universal temporarily halts marketing for The Hunt following mass shootings. No, they're not canceling their movie. No, they didn't not make the movie in the first place. They're just going to stop advertising for a little bit because of the school shootings, but then they're going to release their movie about killing their political opponents in a satire, and somehow these people think that they're the sane, rational, loving, peaceful, kind, and nonviolent type. The hypocrisy never ends. They can do 10,000 times as much as what you do, but because they control mass media, they'll put a microscope on what you did and say, "Oh my God, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's not me, it's never me." These people are disgusting. How disgusting? You actually won't believe it. Here's a CNN contributor and unhinged Trump hater. After today, there is no longer any room for nuance. The president is a white nationalist terror leader. His supporters, all of them, are by definition white nationalist terror supporters. The MAGA hat is a KKK hood, and this evil, racist scourge must be eradicated from society. That's correct, a CNN blue checkmark contributor calling for the eradication of over 100 million people in this country, all of their political opponents, while the film industry is making a movie about killing people who don't want high taxes, government control over healthcare, and insane policies that would have made the Obama Democratic Party look conservative. He has to clarify this. There seems to be some confusion among the right wing about whether I believe that all Trump supporters are culpable in the white nationalist terrorism he's inspired. Let me just clear this up. Yes, all Trump supporters are culpable. If you support a racist, you are a racist. The end. They reference the KKK, ignoring the fact that it was Republicans that freed slaves, Republicans who worked with black people in 1870 when Democrats wouldn't until 1993. And according to history,
So what's wrong?
who started the KKK to pressure all black people and Republicans who were working with the black people to keep them free. Sound familiar? Well, yeah, not much has changed, but we can just pretend like the party switched since they control mass media and keep saying that even though it's not true. But this story gets crazier. Someone brought up a picture of him eating human brains, and he responded, "It was delicious." So they say we can eat human brains, we can make these terrible movies, we can call for your eradication, but we're somehow the sane, totally normal, rational ones. Even though if you look at their policies outside, racist, 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 everybody disagrees with me, racist, you realize that their policies are always taking your money, your freedom, your tax dollars, your ability to do anything. But it gets crazier. On MSNBC, somebody falsely claimed that Trump is trying to exterminate Latinos.
President Obama used the power of the presidency to try to pass comprehensive immigration reform with the Latino community, Latino leaders at the table. You now have a president, as you said, talking about exterminating Latinos.
I never
Of course,
heard
that's not
Trump
true.
say that.
It was the Obama administration who built the cages. Obama deported more people than anybody has. It was the Obama administration who built the cages in the first place. It was Obama who deported more illegal immigrants than any president ever. But I guess if every celebrity lies on Instagram in unison, every single television station lies in unison, all the social media websites are rigging algorithms so the lies come at the top, the liars in the entertainment and film industry just keep getting more hysterical, more violent, more terroristic. I guess that's completely okay. They're allowed to lie. They're allowed to incite violence. They're allowed to make some sort of crazy, delusional, oh my God, he's exterminating Latinos, which isn't even true when it's them who are calling for the eradication, the extermination, and making blatant propaganda movies, basically telling people to kill people who disagree with them politically. It's just hard to imagine any sane and rational person on either the left or the right being okay with this. I know I wouldn't be okay if the Republican Party did it. I'm not even really a Republican. I call them out all the time, and I think they're very weak and lame on many issues. I'm clearly not okay with the Democratic Party doing it and fake liberals and Fox social justice warriors. It's disgusting. It's insane. But this is kind of how it goes. The Dayton shooter was a leftist, a socialist, an Elizabeth Warren supporter, and he even said, "I want socialism and I'll not wait for the idiots to finally come round to understanding." So when you constantly tell everybody that Latinos are being genocided when they're not, they're growing and growing and growing in America. It's the exact opposite, actually. When you constantly tell people there's concentration camps at the border that Trump created when it was the Obama administration who put them there, deported people like everyone else, more than Trump, you absolutely lead people to freaking out, to saying, oh my God, I got to stop this stuff. Weirdly enough, there is really crazy stuff going on in the world. What's going on in Yemen is crazy. What happened in Syria is crazy. The fact that the Obama administration with Hillary left a power vacuum where slavery is now existent, that is the stuff that should be talked about and crazy stuff in the world. Human trafficking, which is affecting millions of people. But celebrities never seem to talk about that type of stuff. They just make stuff up, radicalize. Really brave activism, such as canceling their overpriced Equinox and Soul Cycle passes. Even Michael Moore chimed in. I'm getting rid of my Soul Cycle. Might want to get a refund while you're at it, Mike. Doesn't seem to be working. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but unless I see video footage, I don't believe it. And the craziest part about this woke activism of getting rid of your Equinox and Soul Cycle passes, wow, the working class is really standing in solidarity with this activism, is the fact that the city that most of them live in, Los Angeles, the streets are filled with poop, pee, trash, tents, homelessness. It's growing. If you're an actual working class person, you don't have the luxury of going up to the hills to ignore it. You can ignore it. It's everywhere. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, every nice spot that used to be nice and walkable is now not so walkable. It's filled with homelessness, trash, tents. Clean up your city. Who cares about your Soul Cycle and your Equinox pass that most working class people can't afford or don't feel like spending couple $100s on? Clean your own streets. But once again, they don't do that. Guess who did? Scott Presler, a Trump supporter, cleaned up 12 tons of trash in Baltimore. And guess what? His liberal political opponents were furious. I'm not joking. People were screaming at him, telling people, watch out. There's people cleaning trash in your neighborhood. Kick them out. It's almost like they want you weak, dumb, dependent, and giving all of your resources, taxes, and personal freedoms to federal government. Isn't that strange? It's almost like they don't want your cities clean. It's almost like they make up fake genocides and protest Equinox instead of putting a microscope on real slavery in the world and real genocide. It's almost like their whole celebrity operation of posting the same exact picture at the same time across all social media so everybody that doesn't pay attention freaks out. It's almost like it's a purposeful propaganda effort. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're just very low IQ, or maybe they're not good people. Who knows? Either way, in this political climate, it has to stop. Especially when I talk to most liberals and progressives who disagree with me politically, they almost all say that Donald Trump is going to win next election. I've met very few people on the left who don't like Donald Trump who don't think he's going to win. Most understand that he's popular. The Democrats are a complete embarrassment. They have absolutely nothing to offer besides when a tragedy happens to cling on to it.
Yo, I'm on YouTube,
and
bitch.
act like they're so much less
You ain't
racist
got
than
my
everybody
YouTube
else.
page,
People know they're
bitch.
going to lose. So what are you going to act
Look,
like this
I'm
for
right
6
here.
years? Keep
I'm right here.
escalating violence,
Talk
hate,
this shit.
terribleness. I'm not blaming Elizabeth Warren or
You
any
scared
leftist
of
for the
me.
Dayton
You
shooter. I'm
scared
not
of
blaming
me
Donald
on
Trump for the
YouTube.
El Paso shooter.
Bitch,
Notice how no
I don't
politician on
give
the
a
left or the
fuck
right wants to
about
talk
the
about
deep,
mental
dark
health,
state
families
that
raising
you
their
live in.
children, the pharmacy
They
industry.
can't handle me. They'll never be able to handle me.
That conversation
Yo,
never gets had. It's always it's
they
your fault.
fucked up liberals. They fucked up liberals, and they got their minds unbearable. Look, watch this. The deep, dark state. Nobody wants to sit there and talk about this in Big Pharma. Because I'm telling you, they're the biggest hypocrites in the United States. Look. Yo, Ron, you remember watching the Gremlins? You remember watching the Gremlins as a kid? You remember the one with the white hair and the little glasses? Yo, now go back to Bush. Go back to Bush and think of him. Don't he remind you of him?
Yeah, what about him?
Don't he remind you of him? I'm telling you, the deep dark state is a bunch of lizards that's trying to remain in control. Trump is trying to do his best to bail us out. But no, these fucked up Democrats, like my mom, your mom, everybody else, they say, oh man, Trump now need to get out of here. Okay. You think we still gonna be this way, bitch? We gonna still be in slavery, bitch.
Drink bleach.
Huh?
Drink bleach
And die. Drink bleach, aerosol, and what's the other one? Dr. Falcacci said fish cleaner. Yeah, drink that. It'll clear up the virus real quick. Look, I'm on live YouTube drinking a fucked up bottle. But anyway, I'm telling you, my mind is made up. I know. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm live screening. Hold on. Hold on. I'm about my account information gonna come up. Yeah, yes, I am. Yeah, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube.
All right, what's up, man?
What's good with you?
I go to YouTube and I'm right here at the source.
What? It's gonna say end screams. Keep telling me end screams, or I'm live screening. Yeah, I ain't afraid. I ain't afraid. Do you know what a pandemic really is, Ron? It mean panic, damn it. It mean panic. You panicking. Damn it. I ain't panicking. I ain't panicking. I got bitches now throwing all the pussy they want at me. But guess what? I don't want it. I only want one. But you told me that's your daughter. So I'm gonna leave her alone. That's the only one I want.
Chasing my daughter, man.
Huh? No, not Taja. The other one.
Tyra.
Yeah. You said, just leave her alone, honest. Let her come after you. You know, you my man. So I left her alone. But look, I don't know who brought up all that live shit the other time, yo. That shit was crazy as hell. Yo, we had Dave Hill on the line. We had everybody on the line that we could possibly have on it. It was like a horseshoe reunion.
What was that?
You remember when you called me, you brought me up, everybody was on there. Tyler was on there. Everybody, Dave Hill, your son, everybody. Yo, that was the reunion. But look, I'm telling you right now, Ron. I'm telling you right now, as a personal character. Look. They gonna kill me at the end of this video. I don't care. They might even confiscate my laptop. I only got a Chromebook, so I can hide that bitch anywhere. So anyway, yo, they're gonna be scared of me because of the dark state I keep bringing up. It's 5 dark states. They only talking about one. It's 5 of them with the lizard people. The lizard people. You know the lizard people. You remember The gremlin. You remember the gremlin with the white hair that had slick back with the glasses? Yo, that was Bush Senior. No, that was Bush Senior. That was Bush Senior. You ain't even know. You ain't even know. But I'm telling you, now it's Obama and Hillary. And then check this. They got the Clinton Foundation. They got the worldwide whatever the fuck they try to do. Then they got the CDC. Then yo, why don't Trump get these motherfuckers out of his face and run the world how he wants to? Because he's being controlled. He's being controlled. He's a puppet. He's a puppet on the string that they can control.
Well, that's Mitch McConnell.
That's who?
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Fox News.
Hey, yo. You know when this shit took effect? You know when they really brought this shit effect? Remember when Trump got all them politicians fired, in jail for all that crooked shit they was doing, and then all of a sudden they bring this shit up. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. You can't pay attention to me because you know I'm right. You know I'm right, Ron. My mind is too powerful. My mind is like my dad's. Greasy boots. I got a powerful mind. And look, yo, Ron, just tell me one thing. You gonna come see me on one of them concentration camps? Cause I ain't gonna bow down to these motherfuckers. I ain't gonna let them put a chip in me. Be like, damn, honest, you like eating rice and beans? I can see you now. Damn, you like eating rice and beans? Yo, get my boy out of here. I don't give a fuck. I'm a lieutenant. Get my boy out of here. No. He gotta get a chip in him. No, he don't. Not him. He with me.
You already got a chip in you.
No, I don't. Why? You implanted it in me when I was drunk one night? Damn, my mom did say some shit like that to me. My mom did say some how much you get drunk, you don't know a chip already in you? Oh, bitch, you did plant it in me? Fuck you, bitch. Now I understand what she was talking about, bitch. Fuck you. Huh?
It is what it is, man.
What? I'm going to take that shit out of me. I'll cut my whole arm off. Where's that? Where's that? Tell me where it's at. Tell me where it's at.
It's in the back.
It's in the back? All right.
It's in your right butt cheek. It's in your right butt cheek.
It's in my right butt cheek? I'm going to cut out my whole shit. What?
You can't reach around here.
Oh! Look at my mom. She already listened. She like, make sure you clean up behind yourself. She said, make sure I go outside and clean up behind myself. She crazy, yo. Hey, yo, you heard about Miss Nip, right?
Who?
Miss Nip. Yeah, she passed away.
You know?
Yeah, Miss Nip. Charles' grandma. Charles.
Boy, grandma?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's like 9. Yeah, she's like 89. 89, I think.
I know, but
She wasn't older than my grandma. I think she was 89. Because my grandma 90.
the only person that left is what's her name with no teeth? Charles' mom, right?
Nah. Nah, Maggie's still there. Jackie's still there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Miss Nip.
Charles' mom.
Miss Clark.
Yeah.
Miss Clark.
Yeah. Maggie mom.
No. Yeah, you're right. Mackie mom.
I'm like, God damn, that's Charles. I mean, that's Tyrone and Jack's sister and shit like that.
Yo, guess what now? I be wanting to lay down some tracks though, but I don't think motherfuckers really gonna hear the knowledge and the wisdom I'ma kick on these tracks. That's why I need you. That's why I need you as a great producer to put me out there. You ain't gonna rip me off, is you? Cause I try to. You ain't gonna rip me off like my dad did you.
Yeah, 75%. You know, give you 25%, I take 25, 75.
Huh?
I give you 25%, and I'll take 75%. That's including shows, interviews, wherever the fuck we go.
Damn, I gotta fly.
If we get $1, I get 75 cents. You get 25 cents.
No, how about you take 60, I take 40. Hey yo, but look at this economic race that's going on. No, you can't even talk to a bitch that you really like no more.
Why not?
You gonna tell me it's social distancing? Well, we gotta be 6 feet to talk, bitch. I want some pussy, and I know you want some dick, and I know you want some dick. Fuck out my face. You ain't about to blast me with this shit. You ain't about to blaspheme me with this shit. Yo, they're playing something that they ain't made for. They're trying to play God. They're trying to play the higher power. Actually, we all gods as black men. But they're trying to play the higher power. They're trying to play him.
I thought you was a Sunni. I thought you were a Sunni.
No, I'm a thorn in a white man's asshole. I'm a thorn in a white man's asshole. How about that one?
Inside his asshole?
Yeah, I'm a thorn in his asshole. He getting fucked by me the whole time. He getting fucked by me. He like, damn, this big black nigga can fuck. Damn, this big black nigga can fuck. Huh?
Who the fuck gave you a Chromebook?
Who made me a Chromebook? Hey, myself. About working a computer. You should have taught me how to work a computer so damn good. I'm telling you, Ron T, you shouldn't have made me. You shouldn't have made me. You made me good at it than you. I'm like, damn. Ron T told me this and that. But everybody take me as a little slow. And a little weak. Bitch, you gotta go to your kids and make your pages. I gotta go to me to make mine. Look, here go Anthony. Yo, Anthony. Ron T said, what's up? Landon bed. Landon bed. He got to get up for work.
Where are you?
Hmm?
You know it's 11 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock? Where's 9 o'clock at? It's 3 o'clock over here. Where are you at? Oh, damn.
7 at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock over here.
I'm back in LA.
Oh, damn. Here in LA, Anthony. He says 9 o'clock there.
It's not. It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8?
3 hours different.
Hold on.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling in the house. I'm on quarantine. Nigga, I'm still on quarantine. But I'm about to come the fuck out. Me and my mom about to protest tomorrow. Fuck this shit. She gonna come out and protest. She already in the back room making the sign. Fuck this shit.
Y'all going to the hill?
Yeah. We're gonna start there. We're gonna start there. Anthony gonna drive a truck. And we're gonna start marching. Everybody better get the fuck in where they fit in. Cause we ain't stopping. I'm telling you, this shit is gonna stop. They gonna give us that virus. Bitch, we ain't taking nothing. Bitch, cause I'm telling you, Bill Gates and Fauci, you keep listening to them, they want the chip in your ass. Yeah, everybody gotta get a vaccine. Bitch, I ain't getting no fucking vaccine. How the fuck you gonna tell me my equal rights, bitch? Fuck out my face. Kiss my ass. Suck my dick, bitch. You faggot motherfuckers.
You got a social security card.
Bitch, fuck them. Fuck them. My brother just gay. They the real faggots. Ain't telling I keep telling you.
You have a social security card.
I ain't got shit. Better leave me the fuck alone. I ain't scared. I ain't scared to get shut down. I ain't scared to get shut down. You scared. You scared of me to get shut down. I'm not scared. You see what I'm wearing? A Snoop Dogg shirt. I support weed.
You ain't never scared?
Nope. Fuck the beneficial rights of these liberals who want to knock me out. Knock me out. I'd have been knocked out by Ron T. I'd have been knocked out by Little. I'd have been knocked out by the hardest hitters. What else you gonna throw at me? You can't throw shit at me. Now, when they hear this shit in the media, they'll never fuck with you ever again. Yo, cause your fist and Lou fist can shatter a whole bulldozer. Cause bitch, you know you're a strong motherfucker too, Ron. No, you is. You know you is, bitch. I just leave the shit alone. I don't say much.
So,
Huh?
How's Brian?
He all right. Hold on. Let me try to call him.
What about Ed OG?
Ed OG and the Bulldogs.
You know, yeah. You know what time it is, man?
I don't give a fuck.
You gotta keep calling a whole bunch of people, man. Sleep, man.
Man, we good. He gonna pick the fuck up. Know why?
Why?
Cause he's my brother. Look at me on YouTube. I look great. I look great. I floss out great. I came humble. Look, I came from nothing to something.
So now you're a YouTube star.
No, I ain't said I'm a star. I'm a piece of shit. Like I say I am. I'm a piece of shit.
Are you an informant?
No, I ain't no fucking informant. Bitch, I ain't informant for no fucking body. Bitch.
Donald Trump.
No. Everybody get my mind twisted. You know why? They get me twisted because they don't really know me. They don't really know me.
Why did your president tell everybody to drink Lysol?
Hey yo, that was Fauci. What's his name? Fauci. Fauci.
Nope.
He told everybody to drink Lysol.
Nope, he wasn't even there.
Oh, he was?
That was Donald himself. Him and that scared ass bitch.
Who that scary ass bitch is he was with?
The one that had the scarf around her neck all the time. So, as you know.
You talking about Sidney Pelosi? Sidney Pelosi.
No.
You went to school with her?
No.
She.
I probably did.
Sarah Pelosi. You went to go town with her. Now she want to be in a White
Well, she at the White House all the time.
Look, you say you dumb bitch. I used to fuck you back in the day.
Everybody probably fucked her, but still, no, look what she had there.
That bitch was a whore to get in that position. You had to fuck senators, congressmen, and fuck that. You know, you gotta play your role. You gotta play your role. You gotta play your role as it comes. Like you can't slip. You cannot slip on these motherfuckers sometimes. Like it's like a Democrat. It's like a Democrat Party versus the Republicans. Like you remember back in the day in 1428 when the Republicans took over that town, Free State of Jones.
You a Democrat?
It's called, I'm a Republican, bitch. I want world peace. I want world order. Why can't we settle it like in the ancient time? As a matter of fact, I'm a liberal, bitch. I'm a liberal, bitch. What you is?
Oh, you're a Democrat. So
No, I'm a liberal.
Not a conservative. Yeah. What are you drinking? Blue iced tea. And that's what you doing.
Some CeeLo wanted. something CeeLo wanted since his grandma passed, you know.
Yeah, call my mom. That's my mom hanging out partner.
Oh, she told you. Oh, she told you.
No, I gotta call my mom.
Oh, yeah. Nick passed. Telling you. Yo. Man, I think CeeLo gonna come there and clear up the house and get them all back right. CeeLo.
When you gonna get your hair did?
I don't need it done. I look very good. I look very good. I look very good, bitch. What you look like? A bald-headed mannequin that they dressed in front of the stores, and I don't want to wear that suit. Nope, I don't want to wear it. He got his bald-headed ass in it. I'm gonna look back here. Look. What? I can fuck with you. You my nigga. You my friend. You my friend. Cuz you the one told me. You the one told me what Alvin said about me. That's why I call you my friend.
So what's up? Was you and Alvin together today?
No. No, fuck I need to be with him for.
No.
Bitch, he ain't on the same shit I'm on. He on his own, hold on.
He has his own agenda?
His own, no. That's too big of a word. His own, what's the street word?
He's Jamaican.
Huh? His own Jamaican shit.
He's Jamaican.
Jamaican, bitch. That bitch is Jamaican.
I'm telling you, call him Jamaican.
That bitch is Jamaican. Jamaican about his whole race. Who he is? Sean Paul, bitch. Sean Paul is light skinned. Who he rated? To the tropical people?
It comes the moon. Go fly to be other right, Irene.
Hey yo, but look. I got my YouTube page open. I got my YouTube channel. Look, everything I can't say on YouTube, I say the shit. My live is still open. I don't give a fuck about what these crackers. I'm telling you, yo, check this out, Ron. No kid left behind. They about to start planting chips in your kids. That's why when y'all be telling me why you ain't got no kids yet. Bitch. Nah, in this fucked up world. I said, man, what the fuck you talking about? Cause I'm outside the box in my head. I already know how fucked up it was gonna get. Why the fuck would I bring a kid into this world? So they can be corrupt by the dark state? So they can be corrupt by the dark state? Bitch, I'm better than you. No, I don't want to keep him in the house. Cause then I'm a hypocrite to him. I don't want to keep him in the house. So all I can do is let him roam.
You turn me into you. What the fuck?
Oh, bitch, bitch, you're a planet of the dark state. You're a dark state member. You got the hair like him.
Yeah, a lot of people call me Darky.
You got the hair like him. Jordan never go to their country. They want to make sure you change like a gremlin. They want to make sure you change like a gremlin.
It's a reptile. You know what our top secret society is?
Yeah. Yeah. What, you fucking most of them? What, you fucking most of the men?
Our agenda. You thought I went fucking.
You worked up an appetite and they stuck your semen in her body and you produced them kids. But you fucking men. Yeah, you working for the dark state, bitch. I play too much. No, I don't. I don't play enough. That's what I was told. I don't play enough. I don't play enough. I don't play enough.
And, yeah.
What?
I had to turn the heat on, man.
What you think?
Together, man. My motherfucking back killing me. Beating my ass, man.
Yeah, we got real people. We got real people that's dying. Now you want to be there working out.
Huh?
You want to be there working out. We got real people that's dying.
Bitch, I just woke up, tell you the truth.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, it is 4 o'clock in the morning where you at, ain't it?
Now I'm in Maryland. What's up, y'all gonna come pick me up or what?
Where you at?
Maryland.
Maryland. Hey, Mom, let me see your keys. I gotta go pick up Ronte. Well, just go to sleep real hard, and I just steal them. Man, there you go.
If they let you through.
How about that one?
If they let you through, PA.
Just fall asleep in the real dark sleep. Man, Andy steal the keys, and we'll be out. How about that one? like Eddie Murphy said on Harlem Nights. Why don't we do it real hard and fall into a sleep like coma and don't wake up? I'm a piece of shit sometimes. You know, you just gotta ignore my voice.
I need to get some headphones.
But look. Everybody join my live on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really. I have real topics that I talk about. Like, I'm on the phone with my friend. You know what I mean? I really do have topics to talk about. Like, why is, look, if you look at all the Trump interviews,
Why do fools fall
if you look at all of the Trump interviews, he throws shots at the government. He said, bitch, the government's a piece of shit. They don't know how to run the world. Like I know how to run a business. They dumb as hell. They
in the
dumb.
entire history of the world?
Huh?
This bitch crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody be listening to his ass like, this bitch crazy. We done this in the whole entire history of the world. Nobody has ever done this better than we. Yeah.
Oh, so who you with? The Democrat Party?
Fuck no. I ain't with them bitches. Them bitches is just black people. I just don't know that.
They try to say Trump is a fucking racist. This is what they trying to say. Look. But one thing about my YouTube channel, they cannot shut me down because I pay money for this. I pay money for this hour.
Oh, they're gonna shut your ass down. Don't worry about it. So you're saying your YouTube channel is for like 24 hours? You know, to watch you 24 hours live all day?
Yup. And you can watch me sleep.
All right, so who knows your link to get on your YouTube channel?
Hold on. I'll give you the info. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on.
What are you doing in the living room?
It's Glenn Harris.
Glenn Harris who? Junior?
Yeah. I gotta tell you my email address. Harris Glenn.
Don't need your email address. What's the fucking name of your YouTube site?
Damn, I forgot what I put it on. You just gotta go on there and see me live right now.
I can get on YouTube right now and won't find your ass because you don't even know what it's called. Damn, I'm talking to the sword. God damn, Donald. You forgot again? You want me to drink some more bleach?
Yeah, you great. Yeah, drink some more. Fish cleaner. like Fauci told you. Fauci told you to drink fish cleaner. That clear up the vibe.
Yeah, drink some more bleach. Drink a lot of bleach and that'll clean up your system.
Bitch, that's how they start getting all them deaths. They start piling up.
And everybody like, really? Yeah.
And then black people like, yo, is you retarded or is I'm retarded? I'm telling you, yo, this shit's so crazy, right? Like, if you talk about the shit, they try to cut you off real quick. Real quick though, bro. They try to cut you off if you talk about the shit. If you talk about the dark state, if you talk about the shift shavers, the lizard people. Like, I'm telling you, like, we all watched Gremlins. You remember the one with the white hair, with the glasses, who thought he was smarter than everybody? Don't he remind you of the real Bush Senior? Pay attention. Watch Gremlins again. But you know what I mean? Like I want this video to go live for everyone. I don't just want me to pay attention. I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm talking about. Because look, bro, everyone is not have a mind like ours. Like, you doing all this partying, traveling, all this shit. I don't give a fuck about that. Now, the ones who gonna prosper from this epidemic is the ones who was always making money and seeing their money rise. But everybody ain't got that hustle in them. They'll take that little $1,200. You know what I'm gonna do with that little $1,200? I'm gonna invest $500. I'm gonna stack $500 and go fuck up $200. What? What?
Let me borrow that stat.
Yeah, long as I get, I'll give you 500. I'll loan you 500. As long as I get 700 back, I want it in cash. They be scared. They are so scared. They're scared of the economic race of black people matter now. The coronavirus is very much under control in the USA. Yo, look. If you're a fool to believe everything they tell you on the media, you'll be a fool for everything. I'm not getting the injectors. I'm not getting shit. Bitch, you better take me out the back of my mom's house and blow my fucking brains out. Fuck that. I'm not getting shit.
Sorry, it's the truth.
I'm not getting no vaccine.
All you have to do is drink some bleach.
No.
Drink some bleach.
You go drink some bleach. You go drink
You
it.
heard what Trump told you to do?
No, you go drink
Trump
it.
just tell you to drink some.
You go drink it. You go drink it. And see what it do for your system.
Hey, that's what your president told you to do.
No, you voted for him.
Yeah? You're supposed to be on the side. What happened? Now you gonna change your mind and shit in less than a half an hour? What's going on here?
Bitch, I'm not going to.
Just on the side.
Bitch, that was Fauci in his ear. That was Coochie in his ear. That was Coochie in his ear.
Nope.
For Coochie in his ear.
Nobody was in his goddamn ear. You know who the hell was in his ear?
Oh.
Goddamn devil. That little tiny Trump and shit that was on the shoulder.
Yeah, the little man on the shoulder. and then you got the angel on the other shoulder. They tell you good shit to say. You won't listen to this demon. I'll keep you rich.
Don't listen to that bitch. Yeah.
Be like, I'll keep you rich. I'll keep you rich, bitch. Hey yo, if I get locked up in the nut home for what I got planned on YouTube, if I get locked up in the nut home, hey, my mom know how to hide my laptop.
They gonna come get your ass.
Why? Why? Because I know everything about y'all. Y'all ain't secrets. What what you is a lizard people? You're a lizard people. Huh? You're part of the lizard people.
I'm in place. I came to DC.
Oh, hold on. Damn, you do got green eyes too. You're part of lizard people. Oh, that's how you donated your bone kidney to Mark. Okay. I understand. It's only certain ones like you. Huh? What?
I thought Shyne would be out and shit. Uncle Louie.
Lou don't want to get out. He like whooping bitches' asses.
I like a man. I want to be with a man for the rest of my life.
Oh, look what he said.
I like to be in jail.
He said, yeah. I like it. I like Anthony. I don't want y'all to know. What is that?
No, he like Charlemagne.
No. He like Dini.
He like Charlemagne.
No, he like Dini.
Charlemagne.
He like Dini.
Exactly.
Oh, you said Charlemagne. Oh, that was Dini's name. I caught that one. Rob. I caught it.
Didn't know.
Yo,
None of my business.
everything is recorded live right now on my
Where's
YouTube.
Alvin? Go get her.
Go get her.
Go get Alvin.
Man, Alvin don't fuck with me and I don't fuck with him.
What? You had a little split up. Don't tell me it's still about the Super Bowl.
Nah.
I heard he got his driver's license. Do we get his driver's license?
Do what?
I forgot. He got 6 DUIs, right?
8.
How the hell can he have 8?
Cause one of them you was with him. like you try to say, I got you all them DWIs in Jersey. Man, no, I didn't.
Yeah, you got me too.
No, I didn't.
You got me too.
You got yourself. You got yourself one. I ain't had shit to do with that. I told you to stop swerving. Did you want me to drive? I got it. You kept telling me, I got it. You got what? Oh, you get yourself a DWI. Okay. I ain't know it at the time. Now I know. But, you know what I mean? Hey, yo, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need all the visits I could get, you know what I mean? Because we're going to be
so what's your link?
We're going to be on here talking about real positive shit. Hold on. Oh, it's on screen. Oh, hold on. Damn.
Follow the instructions on the product label to ensure safe and effective use. Company that makes Lysol.
Hey yo, you ain't pick up on me live yet? You ain't pick up on no live streaming? Oh no, hey yo, just drink Lysol. Let it kill the bacteria. That's what Fauci said. What's his name? Fauci, something like that. Whatever his name. When I heard him say that, I'm like, is Trump retarded or is I? What the fuck is y'all talking about? I must look like a real retard. But anyway, it's about the public in the public appreciation. Like once the public get involved in my YouTube channel, they gonna expect it all the time. I'm telling you.
You really think so?
I ain't trying to sell my soul to go viral. That mean you gotta do some strange things to go viral.
What's up, guys, and welcome to some good news regarding the
Sorry, that was the TV.
The Galaxy Note 13, as well as some weird teasing.
See, look, what people don't understand, I be having so much shit to say that be on my mind.
So basically, you've been having dreams.
Huh? Yeah, I really believe Jesus really been talking to me to my dreams. He said I'm gonna get a good woman. I ain't see her yet. but hold on. She's gonna come in a form of a good woman. I just have to know how to take it. Okay. I got that one.
You know, you like throwing women down the steps.
Nah, that was my young shit.
That was the young you.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
Immature at a high level.
Yeah. Look, you see I got on my Snoop Dogg shirt. I'm about to go smoke a joint on National Live. Why? This is my fucking house. Ass. It's my fucking house. Do what the fuck I want. I don't tell me nothing. All you gonna do? Put that pot out. Put that pot out.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get up in about 4 hours. Some of us work on fucking Saturdays.
Hey, yo. I do landscaping. This is my only free time. I replant grass. I refertilize shit. It's scared of me.
Oh, God. That's so. Oh, shit. What the fuck? No pain, no gain. That's all I can say. What the fuck?
Hold on.
But anyway.
Hold on.
Anyway, it's time for me to go to bed.
Hold on. No, you ain't.
Shit, if I ate, that's crazy. I gotta go to work in the morning.
Damn, I'm about to go to work too. Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Yeah. I don't gotta like you, Miss Hawkins.
Miss Hawkins. Who that? From New Jack City. I wasn't born with it, so Miss Hawkins. You do look like Wesley Snipes, bitch. You do look like. Yo, Wesley, we gotta get your autograph, Wesley. Why? Why? Because I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you and your lizard family. You're your lizard family. You're your gremlin family. You watch the movie. You're the gremlins. That was a good movie. You had Donald Trump. You had Bush thinking he was the smartest one. The one with the white hair. with the glasses. What? Lizard people. Let me see you shift shade. I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck.
Alright, man. What you want some more of the news when you go to jail?
What? All of the news for what?
What you want, the shrimp flavors?
Why? Why? Because you're a shapeshifter. Because you're a shapeshifter working for the five. Look, they only know one part of the deep state. It's 5 of them. They don't know about the other 4. That's crazy. Yeah, I know them. I ain't gonna say no names. I'm gonna keep hunting about that one. What? You don't think I know? Huh? Look. That's my YouTube page. I ain't scared of nothing. I ain't scared of them. I told them to come for me. 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 I got backup. I got a lizard people in my face now looking at who gonna back me.
Alright, man. I gotta get up in 4 hours.
All right. Love you, bro. But anyway, that's my boy. You know what I mean? Like, on this real technical shit, yo, can't nobody really fuck with me because they scared of the shit that's gonna come out my mouth. Look. I ain't scared of me. So why would you be scared of me? Like, look. You don't even know. I switch up my coordinates every day of my life. You don't know what house I'm going to be in, what lifestyle I'm going to live, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, like, right now, just think. If this shit was really going on in the world, why would they have a dumb ass president, like our president, going to war? Just pay attention to that. Why would you want him to get reelected again? if these motherfuckers ain't plotting some schemes. Watch, like Joe Biden. Why the fuck would you want him in office anyway? He got dementia. He don't know what the fuck he gonna say at the podium. He gonna sound like the Blob Man. But look. Everybody watched Gremlins. You remember the one with the white hair and the glasses? Thought he was smart than everybody. That's Bush. That's Bush Senior. Now, try another one. It's somebody else. Try again. It's gonna be somebody else. They all lizard people trying to control us as black people. Look, they take our race, they take our names, but we ain't got shit to say about nothing. We get locked up for speaking our freedom rights. But anyway, you know what I mean? If you're on my channel, you watch me, you know what I mean? Subscribe to my page, you know what I mean? I have more videos for you. I don't give a fuck. It don't cost money. All I ask for $1 donation. That's all I ask. $1 donation. I think I should put it right there. About $1 donation for every viewer. Yo, I'll come on this bitch and talk some horrible, terrifying shit that'll knock your socks off. But I'm not going to do this all in one segment. I'm going to do different ones. Look, because sometimes you got to read scriptures out of the Bible just to get people's attention. Look, the book of Revelation say, when God come back, heaven and hell will open up. That's it. Now, look, I don't witness this. I think it didn't happen. I ain't really for sure, but I think it didn't happen. I think it really did. But look, y'all is crazy. But I got so much love for y'all. I got so much love for my viewers out there. You know what I mean? I need y'all to subscribe to my page because it's going to be more topics on this. You know what I mean? Look, all you have to do right now and tell me your feelings, tell me your thoughts, tell me everything. I'm going to put it out there on the media. Look, you can't do everything on Facebook. You have to go live on YouTube now. See, this is where they can shut you down, but they really can't shut you down because it's still controlled by them. They just, when I start getting it, look, everybody keep talking about this one deep state. It's 5 deep states in America that we'll never see. Unless we're a lizard person. But it's 5. 1, they already exposed. So they hip to that. It's 4 more. We got to know them 4 more deep states. I'm telling you some real shit. It's real shit. It's real politics. No Fabregas and shit. No. But I'm going to come back and let y'all know about that. Just got to do some more reading. I got to do some more research. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna do some more Gary Gatsby shit. Cause I ain't scared. I ain't scared of nobody. I ain't scared of no fucking politician. You know what makes you scared? Look, when the devil say you scared, bitch, I ain't scared of nobody. Come to my house. Come try to put that vaccine in any of my family, bitch. We going to camps. Y'all motherfuckers go for that shit. I ain't going for nothing. I'm a man. I stand for everything I believe in. I'm a liberal. I ain't no faggot. Motherfuckers got the game fucked up about that faggot shit. I just got gay people in my family. Y'all the real faggots. Because guess why? Because y'all scared to come out the closet. That's why y'all started all this shit. You Ebrolite Democrat dumb motherfuckers. You ain't shit. My brother just gay. My people just gay. Y'all the real fucking faggots. Now, pay attention to what I just said, and I mean, I want this video to go viral. I don't give a fuck who gonna stop me. Can't nobody stop me but me. The only thing I'm gonna run from in this world is myself. And I don't run from my fucking self. Y'all run from yourself. Huh? Let me take something. Ain't nobody gonna be ready for that. Hope my live videos stay up. I hope y'all congratulate me. I hope y'all do your best to support me. Because my family need money. So, I ain't gonna lie to you. The government is already out to fuck us. Look, yeah, I got my little Snoop Dogg shirt on, you know, that shit. I can smoke. I can smoke a joint. I don't care. But get your mind right. Get your mind right with your education. I mean, learn to educate your kids at home. Did the correct way teacher at school. This is how you defeat the devil. This is how you defeat him in his own game. No. You can defeat the devil in his own game. Oh. All right. You can defeat the devil in his own game.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. We continue to see evidence that our aggressive strategy is working at a very high level. Nationwide, the percent of tests that come back positive has declined very significantly. Last week, roughly 38% of the tests in New York were positive. This week, that number is down to 28%. New cases in New York are down 50% compared to a week ago, and fatalities are down 40% over the same period. In Louisiana, the rate of positive test resulted declined from 25% down to 15% in the last 7 days alone. 18 states now show a decline in a number of positive tests in the last 7 days. So over the last 7 days, been very, very significant progress. Half of all Americans live in states that have now taken steps to open their economies. Just yesterday, Governors Gavin Newsom, California, Tim Walz of Minnesota, and Bill Lee of Tennessee announced additional plans to restart certain sectors. We ask every American to maintain vigilance and hygiene, social distancing, and voluntary use of face coverings. We're opening our country. It's very exciting to see. We have a lot of talent involved, from governors down to people that just stand there and help you with the doors. There's been tremendous talent involved and tremendous spirit from our country. The country is a great place, and it's going to be greater than ever before. I really believe that. I think there's going to be a tremendous upward shift. I spoke with Tim Cook today of Apple, and they have a good sense of the market, and he feels it's going to be a V. The V is sharply upward later on as we actually get it fully open. Today, I signed the Paycheck Protection Program and Healthcare Enhancement Act, providing $320 billion to keep American workers on the payroll. $30 billion of the Paycheck Protection funds will be reserved for small financial institutions, including those that serve minority and distressed communities, extending vital relief to thousands of African American and Hispanic American small business owners and their employees. The bill also delivers $75 billion for hospitals, so badly needed for hospitals. They've taken a very big hit. And medical providers in areas less affected by the virus. Hospitals and doctors should work with their state and local health officials on ways to safely resume elective medical treatments and care. Under the CARES Act, we're sending direct payments to millions of American workers. More than 80 million Americans have already received their payment. $3,400 for a typical family of four. $3,400. That's great. And
these liberal nutbags in their media bubbles in the Washington, D.C., New York Amtrak tour. You want people to die. Open up the economy. You want people, it's about the stock market. You have no idea the rage building in the real world. None. Now, before we get to the good news, and I promise, stay tuned. There will be some good news. And we do have some other stories today for you as well. I'm done. I'm done playing the BS media games. I'm done playing the liberal narrative. Here are the conspiracy theorist hoaxsters on the liberal left. The conspiracy theorists, remember the collusion gators and the quid pro quo Ukraine gate? Remember those folks? These are the same people who want to dictate the terms of the conversation. You're getting a double-barrel middle finger from me. I'm going to start asking the questions you refuse to ask right now. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's suggesting to you that if we don't continue this shutdown, you have blood on your hands, you can plant a big wet one on my ass. I'm sorry. Believe me, this has kind of like been a thing around here lately too. We've been, I'm not playing your games. It's now clear that people out there are terrified of this conversation. They want you panicked and in hysterics 24 hours a day. And the only way to do that, to distract you from the catastrophic damage being done to our economy, is to keep you panicked and in hysterics 24 hours a day and to keep the facts and data from you. You understand what I'm saying? Please, with a wink and a nod, tell me you understand what's going on in the media right now.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
They do not want any conversation about trade-offs that occur in everyday life happening right now. Ladies and gentlemen, every single day of your life, you deal with pathogens, danger, the potential for road accidents, the potential for an airline accident, every single day. Construction workers go to work, and construction is one of the most dangerous fields out there. Do you know that? They have death rates on par with law enforcement. Do you know that in construction, people die all the time? Why? We can't risk a single life for a building. People do it every single day. You're asking them, construction workers and cops, our police officers, our firemen, our corrections officers, our EMTs and paramedics, you're asking them to take a risk for you. You're putting their life. Wait, Joe, I thought we're not allowed to have a conversation about putting one life at risk. We're not allowed to have that conversation, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Only when it's someone else.
Not allowed.
No, doctors, EMTs, cops. You need to go to work right now and put your life at risk to keep us alive.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to average Americans being able to make that same decision, in other words, like, we're going to keep this shut down for how long again, despite the fact we just lost more jobs in a day than we lost the worst week of a Great Recession? We don't want to have that conversation about traders. You're not allowed to, because if you're allowed to have that conversation, the media won't dictate the terms of battle, and the terms of battle are this. We will shut this down and continue to destroy our economy, our future, our kids' jobs, our prosperity, our livelihood, and our life savings. We will continue to do it because we said so. And any conversation about, is this really commensurate with the threat level of this virus, that will be silenced immediately. Believe me when I tell you, I'm in this environment. It's happening everywhere. Trust me. Cash that check. So let's do some numbers now. How many people, Joe, have we lost to the coronavirus? We've lost 5,137 as of this writing. Now, those numbers are in some dispute because in New York, there was an interesting thread yesterday that some of the people who passed tragically in New York died with coronavirus. That does not necessarily mean they died from coronavirus. Matter of fact, there's a large disparity in those numbers when you introduce that. Having said that, let's attribute every loss in New York to coronavirus just for the sake of doing some basic numbers about risks and commensurate responses by the United States government. So we've lost 5,137 people. 6.6 million people lost their jobs this week at the low end. Those are the people who filed. There's probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions more, who haven't filed yet. So let's just say, Joe, for the sake of math, let's go down a continuum. Let's say at the high end, 10% of those people fall into drug use, stress from losing their jobs and their life savings. Let's say 10% of those people. That would be 660,000 people who are going to suffer extremely negative health outcomes. I haven't even gotten into suicide yet. Drug use, alcoholism. I was a question asked yesterday about an increase in domestic violence now at the White House press conference. People whose lives are unquestionably being put at risk from this severe economic strain, impairing their ability to take care of themselves. You say, Dan, that sounds like a lot, 10%. Fair. I agree. That does sound like a lot. Let's say 1% of those people. Probably a little closer to reality, 1%. Let's be optimistic. Let's say, Joe, only 1% of these 6.6 million people unemployed this week fall into alcoholism, drug use. There's incidents of domestic violence. Let's say, again, stress imposed on their. We know stress can kill you if you have a heart condition, blood pressure. Again, we're not even getting into suicide. We know those increase in times of economic malaise, despite the mainstream media's persistent lies on that, because we do facts here, unlike the media, which lies to you. That would be 66,000 people. You may say, Dan, I'm a media hack and I love to lie to people. 1% of people unemployed could suffer some negative health outcome from it, potential death. That sounds too high, too. Let's go with 0.1% of those 6.6 million people. That would be 6,600 people suffering and potentially dying as a direct result of the severe stress imposed upon them because their livelihoods have been blown away. That's 0.1%. That's 6,600 people. We've lost 5,137. Let's not have that conversation, though. Because liberal Amtrak corridor, bubble-dwelling losers and morons who sit there in their mommy's basement with their s'mores, with their media friends whose jobs are secure because they write anti-Trump articles 24 hours a day, which sell like clickbait to dopey liberals out there who suck them up like a Hoover. Their jobs are fine. They can armchair quarterback all day. So they set up straw man arguments, dutifully lapped up by the media, straw man arguments, Joe, that if you dare, again, I give you the double, dare me, you get the double-barreled middle finger, and I triple down on everything. If you dare mention the fact that an economic shutdown, nearly nationwide at this point, based on the number of states, that an economic shutdown may cause health damage, financial damage, and economic damage far worse than if we were to consider an alternate mechanism for controlling this potentially deadly virus nonetheless. If you dare mention it, Joe, you want people to die for the stock market. Go blank, fill in the blanks, yourself, losers. You're not the ones out there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be okay. In case you think this is some self-serving thing, I'm telling you, we'll be fine. It's not about me. You have no idea, not you in the audience, because you're getting them too. These liberal nutbags in their media bubbles in the Washington, D.C., New York Amtrak tour. You want people to die, open up the economy. You want people, it's about the stock market. You have no idea the rage building in the real world. None.
Attention all victims of childhood sexual abuse in New Jersey.
Have you taken the red pill? That means not taking the blue pill.
But look at this photo. One of the guys leading this attack on our people in Iraq at the embassy over there, which, by the way, was nothing like the Benghazi attack. Here's the photo from the Daily Mail by Ross Ibbotson, Daily Mail Online. They even have it labeled, Joe. There's Hadi al-Amiri in the White House with Obama to the left, and there's Hadi al-Amiri on the right, leading basically the attack on our embassy outside. Now,
you know, Dan,
yeah,
I bet a lot of us are ombudsman time not surprised.
Not
surprised.
Listen to me. That's weird you just said that. Because if I don't want to out my friend, I'm not sure if he's comfortable with the doctor friend who said it to me, but I kid you not, the text I sent back to him, what he said is, he knows it too, is I'm not surprised if true. At all. It is so ironic you just said that. I'm not messing with you, Joe. That is exactly what I said to the doc. I said, Doc, if true, because I hadn't confirmed it yet, I'm not surprised. Nobody is surprised by this. Nobody. This is disgusting. The Death to America crowd, we paid $150 billion in ransom payments under the Obama administration, are now leading attacks on our embassy. Now, making this worse, the media hacks who are driving me absolutely crazy, they're doing a couple of things here to try and mitigate the blow to the reputation of the Obama administration. What do I mean by that? Well, it's obvious. The Obama administration was pro-Iran, the Death to America crowd, and paid them off in a ransom, $150 billion. So the fact that these same people are now attacking us in Iraq and trying to invade our embassy is kind of a big blow to the Obama administration, no? So the media, of course, is doing its due diligence, trying to act as full-time activists for the Democrat Party, and they're trying to blunt the blow. I'm going to get to that in a second, but some of their comparisons are utterly absurd and completely stupid. I want to play this quick video of a really brilliant guy, Jim Hansen. He was on Fox, and there have been these media, remember, the media, folks, is always trying to tell you, for our regular listeners, you know it, a story, not the story. The media doesn't do journalism. The media does storytelling. So the media narrative now is this is going to be Trump's Benghazi, almost celebrating an attack that could have resulted in real casualties and luckily didn't because Trump's the president, not Obama. They're trying to compare this to Benghazi. There is no comparison, as Jim Hansen addressed on Fox. Check this out. More on it when I get back.
We ran the Politico headline, Trump tries to avoid his own Benghazi. Do you see any parallels between Benghazi and what happened in Baghdad?
The only parallel is that bad guys attacked a U.S. embassy. 100% difference in the response. Obama and Hillary Clinton cringed and hid and did not reinforce our people. President Trump sent Marines and the 82nd Airborne and said, don't you dare. That's the correct way to deal with a provocation like that.
Message sent. All right.
Let's see if it's received.
So, folks, it's just like Benghazi, what happened in the Iraq embassy attack over there, except for the fact that there were no U.S. casualties. The response was forceful, aggressive, and immediate. There were no lies about a videotape, and air support arrived immediately. But other than that, Joe, yes, it was the exact same as Benghazi. Other than everything that happened in Benghazi, everything that didn't happen here, thank the Lord, and that is not using his name in vain, by the way. Literally, thank the Lord. We have our people over there busting their butts in a mission overseas, putting their butts on the line. Thankfully, President Trump is in office and not the hapless Barack Obama. And what difference does it make, Hillary Clinton? So again, other than those things, Joe, no U.S. casualties, an actual response that was aggressive, forceful, and immediate, air support, and the fact that they didn't lie about a videotape to hide the attack. Other than that, yes, it was exactly the same.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
But other than that, other than those things, yes, it was the same. Other than those things, which is everything, it was the dude. Now it's worse. Yes, Joe, it's worse. There's a subtle, and one of the things we do on this show, which is my favorite thing to do, is to address the story the media is trying to tell you, rather than the story. The media always has a narrative to defend and back up because they're full-time activists, full-time liberal activists, to back up and make the Democrat Party look good. So the media had to find a way. Follow me, folks. Audience Ombudsman Joe, track me on this. If this doesn't make sense, you got to let me know. So the media can't have the story out there, the real story, which is a bunch of Iranian militia hacks probably paid for or instigated an attack on the embassy, and Obama was on their team. In other words, we can't have the story out there that the people Obama supported, like the guy you just saw the picture of, are now attacking U.S. personnel or trying to in our embassy overseas. That's the story, folks. That's what happened. You saw the photos yourself. A bunch of people, the Obama administration tried to help, the Death to America crowd turned around, as Joe said, and he's accurate, unsurprisingly, are attacking our people now overseas in Iraq, or trying to. That's the story. Period. Full stop. They can't have that stories out there. So the New York Times and others are trying to characterize them as mourners. Mourners because we had done some fighter jet attacks over there on some outposts against Iranian terror proxies over there. They're mourners, Joe. They're mourners. What they're trying to do, follow me here, is they're trying to conflate previous protests in Iraq, which were anti-Iran, not anti-U.S., legitimate protests. In other words, there are Iraqis out there protesting who don't want Iranian influence in their government. These protests have been happening for months. They're trying to make those protests go away and make this all seem like one big anti-U.S. effort. To make those anti-Iran protesters look like anti-U.S. protesters. You get what they're doing? It's very subtle.
Yeah.
By painting people as mourners and protesters, they're trying to take the anti-Iran edge off it because that looks anti-Obama because Obama supported the Iranian regime.
Right.
And they're trying to make it one big anti-U.S. thing only. You'll see it, but painting them as mourners. But not the terrorists these people are.
One hell of a week.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in crazy time with the media. Watch it. Instead of describing them as anti-Iran protesters, some of the people, because these protests are still going on, they're going to conflate them and make them one big group of anti-U.S. people to take the anti-Iran angle off it, because anti-Iran protests would look like they were anti-Obama protests too, because he supported Iran. Very subtle, but again, that's what we do here. We pick apart media narratives all the time to show you what the real story.
It is happening in the context of Congress having gone on recess for a month. We are going to pass a small potatoes bill, and then we are talking about recessing again until May 4th. And if we are going to bring every member or call back almost every member who can back to DC to pass a small incremental bill, and with the knowledge that we are not coming back until next month again,
that the media themselves and everyone else involved in this in January had no special information. Neither did Trump about this. And they're claiming they did, and that Trump was the one who dropped the ball. I have the receipts, as always, so don't you worry. And I'm going to play some super cuts and video. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the receipts, baby. I got the receipts of the video of the media flipping the switch. Why did they go from in January and mid-February saying, hey, Trump's panicking, everybody. You're all panicking. Stop. It's just the flu. Don't worry. To Joe, on a dime, boom, flip a Ruski, flip the switch. Now, you need to panic. You need to really panic. And if you don't really panic, you're with Trump, who underestimated the problem. Trump lied. People died. Why did they flip the switch and how? Well, because we're getting ready for a set of narratives. We're going to go. Segments of today's show are going to be Narratives 1. This is Narratives 1 segment on the bottom. I wish we had Narratives 1. And there's going to be Narratives 1 sub A, Narratives 1 sub B, like it's a legal matter. Then we're going to go to Narratives 2. So first, why did they flip the panic switch, the media? Well, obviously, because now they found, with the media and their Democrat sycophant allies, they found that it can be politically useful panic. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't have Trump underestimate a crisis if you don't have a crisis, right?
That's right.
So let's produce the receipts here. As I always tell you, if you'd like to pay attention to where the Democrats are going to go next, you have to take their surrogate brain. Go to his Twitter feed, follow it. Don't comment or he may block you. I'm just warning you. You have to go to Lawrence Tribe. Again, talking about why they flipped onto the you must panic right now. If you don't panic, you guys are all idiots, despite telling us don't panic a little while ago. Here's Lawrence Tribe's tweet. This will explain a lot. This is Nancy Pelosi, but Lawrence Tribe is a lawyer. He's at Tribe Law. And whatever Lawrence Tribe tweets, you will see showing up out of Nancy Pelosi's mouth just days, if not minutes afterwards. He is her. surrogate brain here. He feeds her stuff. Now, Lawrence Tribe is a lawyer. So lawyers always think of things like motive. You know, they're always thinking in terms of legal cases. So they need a motive. Keep this up. I have this tweet up. If you want to watch, youtube.com/Bongino for the visuals. Lawrence Tribe needs to provide a motive, because a motive, although not necessarily, if you kill someone, you do it, it's still a legal case regardless, right, Joe? The motive is important, but it's not everything. But motive is important in politics. Why, Joe? Because it diminishes political capital. And if you can provide a motive as to why Trump may have done something and underestimated this massive crisis that the media wants you to believe we're in, if they need a motive, because that motive, if it's malicious, will destroy President Trump and make him look like an evil person. Let's read this tweet from Lawrence Tribe. What if we were to learn that Trump suppressed scary information re COVID-19 and the federal response in January, Joe, to postpone the economic turndown until it could no longer endanger his Senate acquittal? Retweet if you wouldn't be surprised by his making that trade-off. Oh, here we go. Motive alert by hapless hack Lawrence Tribe, Nancy Pelosi, surrogate brain. Remember, a motive is not necessary in a legal case. Matter of fact, in some counterfeiting U.S. currency cases, I worked as a Secret Service agent. Motive is almost irrelevant. We catch you passing the counterfeit. That was it.
He like Nixon.
But Lawrence Tribe understands that Nancy Pelosi, his partner in crime, in order to engage in some prolonged political attack, whether it result in impeachment, Trump's loss in the election, they're just trying to attack Trump. They need a narrative. Narrative 1, sub A, is going to be Trump underestimated the crisis, and his motive, remember, provided by a lawyer who knows they need a political motive, is going to be they delayed the response to the Wuhan virus, Joe, from China, because Trump had a Senate impeachment going on, and he was trying to hide the bad information from the economy. He was. So despite the fact that we didn't have the first known death from China until January 11th, China didn't even report through their hacks in the WHO. That's going in my next book, by the way, WHO China. Don't you forget it. I mean, you can't have a follow the money without that, right? Come on. WHO wasn't even reporting human-to-human transmission, because the Chinese were lying until mid-January. Trump just 2 weeks later, institutes a travel ban, which on the same day Nancy Pelosi attacks travel bans. Oh, that's about the fake book thing later, too. So Lawrence Tribe is claiming somehow that Donald Trump, Joe, was privy to some special information literally no one else in the media or politics had, and didn't act because he didn't want an economic downturn in the middle of his Senate impeachment trial, which the Democrats, by the way, were engaged in while the Wuhan virus was raging in China. Do you believe this sick puppy? Do you believe this guy, Tribe? He's providing them a political motive now for their next attack on Trump. They're not thinking about getting through this at all. They don't. Listen to me. If you were attributing at all, Joseph, I'm not talking about voting Democrats out in the country. A lot of good people out there, registered Democrats. I grew up in New York and Maryland. Joe's in Maryland now. He's surrounded by Democrats. They're my friends. They see the world different. That's okay. I don't think of them as evil people. I don't. The radical Democrats in Congress, and they're sickos like Tribe. These are sick, disturbed people. Ladies and gentlemen, they have no desire whatsoever to solve this problem. They are solely thinking about the next Trump investigation, the next attack. And Tribe is here to provide the motive. So narrative number one, that they're going to use going forward, sub A, Trump underestimated the crisis, despite the fact that the media themselves and everyone else involved in this in January had no special information, neither did Trump, about this. And they're claiming they did, and that Trump was the one who dropped the ball. I have the receipts, as always, so don't you worry. The media knew, too, it was Trump who, although he instituted a travel ban and was warning the American public, right? Granted, the response wasn't perfect. I'm not saying that. I'm not some kind of golden calf sycophant. Clearly, no one saw what was coming. In many respects, people in the White House as well. But that's not the Democrats' story. Their story is like, we had special information and Trump didn't. He should be investigated. Well, here's the media geniuses now attacking Trump. Geniuses, the smartest among us. Again, warning us about how dangerous this is going to be. Right, Joe? Because they're so smart. Here are their warnings saying, folks, this is coming. Be very careful. Here's a supercut Hat tip, Tom Elliott, the great Tom Elliott over at Grabian. Here is this is a Free Beacon. I'm sorry, Free Beacon, hat tip, Free Beacon. Got to get your hat tips right. Here is the media supercut of them clearly warning us about the dangers ahead. Check this out.
In late February, President Trump began downplaying the coronavirus by likening the illness to the seasonal flu.
People are like, I think I have the flu. Could it be the coronavirus? Overall, most people should not be terribly concerned about it. You definitely want to pay attention.
Should they panic?
No, Americans do not need to panic. What I would suggest, however, is that Americans take this as a wake-up call for seasonal flu.
Flu is a much bigger deal. There's an important context we need to keep this in, and that is that the flu is more deadly.
Maybe this is a good opportunity to remind people of that.
Such a good reminder.
And while there's a lot of fear over this coronavirus, the flu is already widespread in the U.S. and it really is much more deadly, is it not?
Coronavirus is not going to cause a major issue in the United States. We're going to have 40 to 60,000 deaths this year in the United States from the influenza, and it's preventable.
And there are only 12 confirmed cases of coronavirus here in the States. The risk is low. The risk, however, for the flu is through the roof.
Health warning from doctors why they say people should be more worried about the flu than the coronavirus.
Half of the people in America do not get a flu shot, and the flu right now is far deadlier. So if you're freaked out at all about the coronavirus, you should be more concerned about the flu.
Yeah, the
Illuminati. There it is, Joe.
Yeah, baby.
There it is, the media warning us how dangerous this was going to be. Of course, that's not what the media was doing in January, because the media had no special information, just like the White House didn't either. Because although Donald Trump, I believe, has been an effective president during this crisis, Donald Trump cannot predict the future, ladies and gentlemen. He's not Karnak from the Johnny Carson show. So narrative number one, Trump didn't see this coming, but we all did. Impeach him, investigate him. Destroy him at the ballot box. In conjunction with their media loser idiots who keep parroting this narrative, is clearly false.
It's fascinating to see which conservatives are totally fine with mayors and governors shutting down private businesses in the name of a national emergency. Don't get me wrong about the Chinese coronavirus. It's one thing for government to recommend social distancing. But make no mistake, it is an abuse of power for any government official to dictate that private enterprise stop. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says this is an argument for the federal government to nationalize private industry. The mayor of Champaign, Illinois, signed an executive order giving herself power to ban the sale of firearms and ammunition because of the Chinese coronavirus. The governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, shut down privately owned restaurants and bars in the state. The mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, shut down gyms, bars, restaurants, wineries, nightclubs, movie theaters, and entertainment venues. And a lot of conservatives are defending Garcetti, saying, well, there's a long history in the United States of government using their powers to protect the public welfare in pandemics, even if that means violating people's constitutional rights. So that's where I want to start tonight. Is there precedent in our nation of government abusing their power during times of crisis? Of course. There was also precedent in the U.S. of segregation. Does that make it right? Heck no. This gives the left every incentive in the world to gin up mass panic and hysteria on any political issue, because now, even some conservatives who claim they support limited government have proved if they're fearful enough, they're willing to obligingly hand over their liberties to government officials in exchange for the perception of security. Do you think the left won't declare a national emergency on gun violence as an excuse for government to swoop in and take your guns? Do you think the Democrats won't declare a national emergency on climate change to give themselves extra power to impose socialism on us without our consent? Bernie Sanders already promised he would do that. And I know what my critics will say. If you don't support the government dictating that private commerce be stopped, you want to kill grandma. What a load of baloney. I have zero problem with individuals social distancing. If you own your own business, in fact, and you want to shut it down, go ahead. If you're sick, don't go to work. If your kid is sick, don't send them to school. If you're coughing and contagious, don't get on an airplane. Protect the elderly from germs. You should be doing this all the time. This shouldn't be a new concept to people. You should do this for the flu. You should do this for the Chinese coronavirus and every other contagious illness that can and does harm people.